It's almost going live.
Yep.
Get close to it, you can make the lights light up all the way to red.
All right, Brian, whenever it's ready, you can go ahead and take it away.
All right. Welcome, Realm family, to a very, very special edition of the Realm Paranormal Podcast. I'm going to be hosting this live event tonight. I'm Brian. Gina's over on the other side, not just the other side of this live cast. She's on the other side of the pond. The gang is in Ireland right now at Ross Castle, and we are just starting a live investigation of a haunted castle in Ireland. Gina. There's Gina, everybody. Everybody, you guys can.
I'm ready to go post on Facebook. Yeah. So I'll let you take it away while I get that.
Okay. Yep. If everybody wants to go over to Facebook, the link is going to be posted there. We're live on YouTube right now. But you can head over to Facebook. The link will be there to get you here to this live cast. It's going to be a lot of fun. As you can see up on your upper right, you guys are going to see basically base camp. You can see the live camera setup with the gang. We have, looks like right now we're getting a little shot of, looks like Rich and Jenny. I'm not sure what room they are in. Gina's going to have to get that to me.
This room is called the O'Reilly room. It is the first bedroom in the tower. So the tower has a library, and then you go up a spiral staircase that's very skinny, and you come to the first room called the O'Reilly room. So that's where they're at right now. And reportedly there is quite a bit of activity there. So I'm going to continue over on Facebook to post some information, and I'll be right back with you.
All right. So in that O'Reilly room, guys, some of the claims that people have had before is that they hear, it sounds like cannonballs rolling around on the ceiling, lots of banging, knocking. Also, a lot of EVPs in the bathroom that's attached to that room. So I'm going to let Gina know that to make sure that the guys get in there, maybe do an EVP session in that bathroom. Supposedly there's been some good stuff caught there in the past. So hopefully we'll be able to get those guys in there, get an EVP session going, and hopefully catch something. So the gang just got over to Ireland. They were there yesterday. They started a little mini investigation last night. Everybody was pretty exhausted from travel, but that's not going to be enough to keep the team down. So, because they're full of gumption, they were able to set up a little investigation last night, and right away today, Rich was sharing some audio files that hopefully will be able to get posted. I'm not sure if we'll get those on Facebook, but hopefully we can get some of that stuff posted up that people can see. It was actually some pretty decent, what sounds like EVP. We think we hear a little bit of a voice. Rich also asked a question about having pets, and you get a very breathy no at the end of it. So that's something we're really going to have to check out tonight. We're going to have to make sure, just on that little bit that Rich caught last night, what sounds to be a voice, we want to make sure that it wasn't the sound of somebody's foot sliding on the floor, just see if maybe we can debunk some of that stuff. That's the great thing about doing a 2-night investigation. On that first night, you can have some trial and error with a lot of different things. And if you do get some activity and you get some personal experiences, you get a whole nother night that you get to get out there and try to debunk some of that stuff. So this should be really exciting and a really in-depth investigation for the team. This is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime deal, being in Ireland, being able to investigate a haunted castle as a team. It doesn't get any better than that. These guys are having a lot of fun right now.
So just stand by. I gotta get this set back up again. I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Gina is really holding down base camp there at the castle right now, trying to get everything all figured out. This is a new this is a new thing that we're doing here, so you're gonna see some hiccups throughout the investigation. Anything can happen on live TV.
Right?
But I think
And
we're
we
getting
just
this
told it.
thing
So I'm gonna
just right.
Right. Are you able to hear me okay?
We got you.
Okay. Can you hear Rich talking on the TV?
No, now I cannot. I could
Alright.
before.
While I'm here.
There he is.
Okay.
Now we got him.
I'm gonna just hold this. so that
Okay.
I
he-
think that was a goal. I was trying to say, I was because of the fear leaving my body.
So basically, we have this team split up right now. So right now we have Rich, Rob, and Jenny that's in the tower. They're actually in the bathroom. Did you want me to have them do something in that bathroom?
Yeah, so some of the claims that I was seeing online doing some research is people said specifically in Miles O'Reilly's room, that bathroom that's attached there, that there was a lot of EVPs that they were getting inside that bathroom.
He's in the bathroom, so let me just see if I can't catch them on the radio. Gino to Rich.
Yeah, what's up, Gina?
We have a request from Brian. Apparently there was some activity that happened in the bathroom in the O'Reilly room. So he would like to see if you could do an EVP session in there.
And we are doing that right now.
Oh,
Awesome.
You're not,
perfect.
we heard a knock in the bathroom, and that's why I was sitting there trying to figure out what's going on. I'm gonna go in there and touch a few things, and see if I can indicate what it was. And these two here can continue on with the EVP sessions, that we are doing.
Did you hear that, Brian?
Yeah, that's great, Gina. Did Rich say that they had already heard a knock coming from that bathroom?
Yes. They went in.
Oh, that's great.
He is in the bathroom investigating everything in there to see if there's anything that we can do to like debunk that knock
Okay.
and make sure that it's not something with the plumbing or anything like
Sure.
that. We definitely we have had a lot of noises going on. And
Okay.
right now, actually, Amy and Kez are in another part of the castle. I think they're in the older part of the castle. We don't have cameras there, but we have seven cameras set up. And we're gonna focus on showing everybody tonight the cameras of all the investigations that take place in the tower. Because that's the only place we can't take our technology. And so
Can you
Brian,
repeat that one more time, Gina, about what part that did not have the camera?
so the place that Amy and Kez are in, they are in the back bedrooms of the main floor. So it's part of the new addition. How to explain the castle is the whole base of the castle, like the abbey walls. So like the base floor walls are all walls that are pretty much all the way around all the castle.
Okay.
Hang on 1 second. They heard some noises.
Okay.
And it's been roughly everything we have, I believe. Oh, yeah. Really good. Is Sabina here with us?
We'll just let them investigate for a few minutes. I'll be quiet.
She has to bring on the top of the whole place. She's like saying, what about the Black Baron, Mr. Nugent? Are you around here? So where was his? He was the next one, the Baron. Okay, so O'Reilly, the Baron, and Sabina. And O'Reilly was selected. Sabina, not sure.
Yeah,
That's pretty much a fair meeting, isn't it? That's very.
Well, that's what I would say also, that I'm like, okay, it's 4 hours, but I don't know. I mean, original construction. And the big main legends all live in the same town. I think it could be.
Can you hear them okay?
We can hear them perfectly. This is great.
None of them. Everything made.
It's Orwin.
The handprint is in this room. Where's the bearing to? There it is. I can see it right here.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit. We were told by some of the staff of the castle tonight, we had them make well, not had them, they offered to make dinner. They offer that as part of the services here. So we had a full, like 3-course Irish dinner. One of them had told us that the fireplace here in the O'Reilly room, there is a small handprint, like the size of a child, that's on there and they cannot clean it off. They've tried everything to scrub this handprint off of the brick. They've done everything. I'm not sure what they've done, but they've
Mhm.
never been able to clean it off. And apparently at some point they had a medium come in and she didn't know anything about the room or about the castle, didn't know about the handprint. And she actually walked in that room and she said she's getting the sense of a child there and that had passed from an illness. So that was kind of a unique find. So now they're measuring their hand against that handprint.
Thank you for that, Gina. That was a great explanation and a little insight into a little experience that you guys just got tonight. Literally, a claim that you guys had to look into by the staff. That's great.
Why they thought that is because they had medium that, not that direction of saying those kids and all, there's a handprint, you know, which, I mean, you can see the bigger, you see the bigger dips, you can see the palms, like that. But it could also be, if I grabbed at it and went like this,
Rob's getting
Sorry
the
to
calls,
bother you
everybody.
guys. Rob, if I could have you move just a little bit, you're directly in front of the camera. Do a little dance.
Gina, I have a question for you.
Yes,
So you guys ate dinner in the castle tonight. That's where everything was prepared there, and you guys
yes.
ate in the castle. Did you guys have anything interesting happen during the meal around the table? I'm assuming you were at.
So one thing that did happen was one of the candles, they had these 6 huge candelabra, like candle holders type things around the room. And they had
Mm-hmm.
candlesticks in each one of them, had lit them. It was very nice. One of the candles was just flickering, and it was right around the time that the staff had told us about the handprint. So that's
Okay.
my dinner. That was weird, I could say.
Okay, because there was another claim that somebody had that they were having, having a meal, a little bit of a celebration there or in around the table, and taking pictures and stuff. And then when they came back, they went outside. When they came back in and they started going through the pictures that they had taken, there was like 2 pictures that were really odd that they don't remember taking that were like from an angle from the bottom of the table, and they
Oh,
described it as it would have been an uncomfortable, painful angle if somebody was under the table trying to do it. That it was very strange. It was just a weird thing that apparently was in that area that they had noticed. So I was just curious if
and I'm not sure because
you
there's
guys
like
had anything.
dining room tables in like the dining den type area.
Mhm.
And there's also a very large dining table in the upstairs as well. So I'm curious as to what exact room that was in. I'm gonna turn the volume back up. Let's check in with them, see what they're doing.
touch that device on the table with the lights light up. Or that K2 meter that has lights, a little gray box that has lights on it. And if you're curious, go over and touch them. We can talk with you. That's me.
So you can see some light anomalies on the wall. It's really easy to kind of think that things are paranormal, but you have to debunk everything. So we take a look at what equipment people are carrying, if that has a light source to it, or if it has something reflective that could bounce off of the IR. So to the untrained eye, I know I'm not trying to overcomplicate this, but sometimes people can take a look at videos and think orbs or light anomalies, and we really have to take a look at everything. Even if there's glass in the room, we have to make sure that there's no reflection from the IR camera. When you have two cameras in a room with IR capability and there's glass or mirrors, you can get a lot of light anomaly.
Those two are.
And then, we have that you there, this whole thing.
Oh, Billy Gibbons?
Yes, he gave me the spell.
I'm actually going to use the mouse to just check and see if Amy and guys are in a room that we can see. So stand by one moment.
Awesome. Great idea.
I remember.
I'll give you guys a little bit of information about Ross Castle here while we try to check in on the rest of the group. So one of the big hauntings that people seem to associate with the castle is the person who built the castle, Richard Nugent. Everybody knew him as the Black Baron. This guy was not a nice guy. He was very harsh towards people, ill-tempered. He had a cruel streak. That's what got him the name, the Black Baron. Just seemed like a really nasty guy. But a lot of the stories and a lot of the hauntings seem to be derived from the originator who made the castle. Uh, the other part of that story, which again, this is very haunted mansion for anybody who's been to Paris before and has ridden that one. The Black Baron had a daughter, Sabina. Classic story that she falls in love uh, with a with an Irish chieftain. They fall in love. They're star-crossed lovers. They can't be together. Uh, they eventually, the two of them, get onto a boat and try to leave so they could be together without the Black Baron finding out. They get hit by a storm. The Irishman who Sabina had fallen in love with, he drowns. She was rescued, but when she found out that the love of her life had died, she locked herself in the tower, refusing to eat or drink, and she died. Um, so there's a lot of interesting stories that go back to the person who built the castle, and a lot of the stuff revolves around that. So you heard a little bit earlier, you heard Rich or Rob mention the name Sabina. That's who they're referencing. That's the daughter of the person who erected the castle, who was not a very great guy. So you might hear the names Black Baron come up. You might hear Sabina come up. You're going to hear the name Miles O'Reilly come up. Those are names of people who lived within the castle.
So right now they are doing a spirit box session. So I'm going to turn the TV back up so you guys can hear.
Perfect.
So the spirit box, how that runs is it is a radio that runs at high sweep, and so it sweeps and scans through channels really incredibly fast. And the thought is that it'll eventually be able to use the radio to form words to respond to us or give us information. Right now, there seems to be a female voice that keeps coming through that sounds very much the same.
We can't hear them, Gina.
Okay, let's see. Can you hear that better now?
Uh,
Nineteen.
yes.
Three of us.
over and talk to us, guys. Did you turn that in? I'm getting ready.
Okay, did you guys see the light just went off? The light that's there on the table just lit up.
Right there we go. Okay. That's it lit right there in the lower part of the screen, correct?
Yes, what happens is you have to pretty much be on top of that. And so Rich just checked with everybody and said, hey, did anybody move? Just to make sure, because it's dark in the room. They can't see as well as you and I can see. It's
Right.
pitch black in there.
Yes, we can definitely see that now that you tilted it down slightly. We have a perfect view of that light.
And those lights stay on for about a minute before they'll shut back off, so we can't turn them off. The lights that you're seeing on Rich's back and on Jenny's front is from their body cam, and because it's night vision, it's interfering with the IR on our camera, so that's why it comes out looking glowing.
So this will be super interesting here. Once we get this light to go back off, we'll be able to see if anything engages again and gets it to light up.
Right.
I'm gonna say 20 minutes.
Rich, just to confirm, nobody set off the motion light?
In the room that we're in,
Correct, that came on its own?
no, it was fine for me moving because it's awful jitters.
Okay, they debunked it.
Okay, good.
On the chair. We'll probably stay in this room probably for another 6 minutes. That'll give us a half hour here.
Okay.
And I'll sit down here, hopefully it'll go off and then we'll. Oh.
Oh, they got a hit on something.
Okay.
Just as he's, saying we're gonna stay only a few more minutes, they got a hit.
Sometimes that happens, guys. You'll be sitting somewhere, you'll get little bites and little pieces. And sometimes when you say you're going to leave, you'll start to get a bigger hit. It's always exciting.
Why'd you hear Irish music? It might have been from them, but you wouldn't have heard that. You would have heard it from the TV though. Checking on something.
Now, something just went past the camera. We don't like orbs, but that was the first thing that I've seen move through this screen the whole time they've been in there. It came from
Right.
lower left corner all the way across. Again, we're not orb people, but I just wanted to point out that throughout this whole thing, even with the moving around, we haven't had anything like that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, we've had several orbs that we can't explain. Like you said, we are not orb people. What we need to do is just continue. What I did was watch an hour's worth of just kind of to see how dust particles were moving around the room and nobody else there. Even though there's no air circulation in the tower, as far as no forced air, there's still other things. So we're trying to get a feel in each room to see how the dust particles are moving through whatever air is moving and circulating in there. And then we're kind of throwing out those ones, but the ones we can't explain that are either really bright or moving in a deliberate motion, those are the ones we're tagging and gonna rewatch again.
Okay. Well, that last one I think is one worth taking a look at.
Yes,
Okay. Did you notice it, Gina?
I did. I saw what you were talking
Okay.
about.
Okay. Again, orbs are so nothingless unless it's out of the ordinary with the other things. When you can start building blocks of activity, that's when sometimes you can start to put an orb into looking a little bit more into it when you're debunking.
Here, supposed to be recognized over here.
Not sure why this is blocking.
This isn't gonna be the first time. Upstairs?
Okay, so they are going to be going upstairs.
The Baron's room.
Up to the Baron's room?
I saw the flashlight.
You mean there's something for you? Okay.
So we will go to the Baron's room.
That's right. That's-
Actually, let me get out of here so I can go turn off the sound in the other room.
there's
I gotta say, Gina, I feel like we're getting all the kinks worked out here pretty quickly. This is great for me because I wish I was there with you guys.
I
But there's also something to be said for being on this side of it and getting this experience with you guys, almost
I-
as one of the viewers, but being involved in it is exciting.
I agree 100%. I wish you were here, but this is kind of cool to be able to moderate so we can do more of these in the future in case some of us
Yeah.
can't.
Dave,
Now, if you notice, the motion sensor is on the bed in there. So as soon as Jenny walked in, it went off.
There you go. So this is the Baron's room.
Yes.
Okay.
the crimes.
What? Yeah, I know, I started doing that this point. Oh, I started reading that stuff, like, I had the camera, so we know where everything goes, and we're put stuff away, so we're not trying to drive it later, you know? And stuff. What's it working? I'll be honest with you, it never.
I'm sorry if it's shaky. I gotta adjust here.
No, you're doing great.
Man,
Man, you gotta let Rob know. I wish I was there with him investigating right now. I really do. I feel like we would be having a lot of fun.
You guys would be having too much fun.
That's the problem, is I think we would be having too much fun.
Yeah, no choice.
This will squeak.
Rich crashed his
The
drone.
drone. He didn't take my advice. Over on the Wrestling with the Realm podcast, I specifically told him at the end, my only advice, well, to be fair, I said, don't lose the drone. I didn't say anything about crashing it.
There will be insulation. They
You
have
didn't lose it,
for-
but I'm
Is it
not sure.
broken?
No, it just was funny. It crash landed. in the
Okay. Okay, because we need that for the lock.
Nope,
All
they
these
got it.
phones are being struggling.
I'm not sure what's flashing on his phone, so I'm gonna let him know.
It works in building, yeah.
Okay, it stopped.
Actually, we'll see what our SLS tells us in here.
So now they're gonna use the SLS camera. We would be able to broadcast it to you, however, we don't have any cell service there, so we're not gonna be able to see what's on their screen.
It's just my assumption to go some cartoons.
Do you know, Rob? Your phone keeps flashing.
Yeah.
I brought this up this morning, I put it on airplane mode.
Oh.
And then I shut it off, because it's flashing, because the Realm Paranormal Podcast, an investigation is a new post comment. But I only turned it on for the pictures, so I will turn it back on.
Thank you. So we've been making sure everything goes on airplane mode, and we haven't had to worry about it too much in the tower because we can't even get cell phone service in there, so he happened to maybe get a bar of service there for a second.
Well,
We are right now.
no, maybe we got a sponsor, because at work, it's.
That was me, I was a little bit mad.
I think it's pretty sensitive.
It is very sensitive. Can you turn that off? I didn't mean to turn it off.
So that one will actually stay on for about 1 minute and then it'll turn itself off.
Everybody don't move for 1 minute. So this was the Baron, the guy who ran the show.
Well,
This was his road.
yeah. Nice room, Baron. Like your carpet.
He likes
Just
the
the original
carpet.
carpet.
It is.
At what point can we have Rob try to just be a little bit negative, just to see what happens?
Right?
I'm
Okay,
not sure.
so-
The castle was built in the 1500s.
Last night they were in this room and that light was on the bed for quite a while and they were moving around and it didn't go off. So I was surprised that went off when Jenny moved.
There it goes again.
Forget it.
Make sure.
Okay, wait a little bit.
I'm not sure a lot of the dates with that, the castle was built in 15 what?
Oh, 1526.
1526, so did the Baron have it built?
How old were you when you came to the?
No, I think that the Ross, it was Ross Castle. I think it was before him. I can't get on the finding, but I know Brian did some history on this, so Brian can fill everybody on the information of the dates and everything. Off the top of my head, I don't want to have to look it up.
He's asking about when the castle was built.
Okay, I'll give everybody kind of the highlights here. Just want to make sure I get it all the way back to the beginning.
The bathroom is recent, huh?
Yeah, so, but that makes sense because it was Ross Castle.
So the 12th Baron of Delvin began building the castle Ross, completing the tower in 1537. His grandson finished the Great Hall and the additional structures by 1539.
That's needed, so.
Because it was, you know, but that was a weird moment.
In 1644, Miles O'Reilly, who's known as the Slasher, he spent his final nights there before fighting the Cromwellian forces at the Battle of Fina, where he was killed. In retaliation, the English destroyed much of the castle. In 1864, a plaque was placed to honor O'Reilly's legacy, and a century later, Sir David Nugent reconstructed the estate. And then the next renovations looks like that was in 2020 and 2022. It went under a major renovation that added the new great room and some of that newer things that you guys had gone through. That's not the tower proper. So it looks like really it was Richard Nugent who really started building in 1537.
Okay.
There's lots of history of the area before that, but for the actual castle proper, that's what we're looking at.
Yes, in 1537.
Google, yeah, Google is challenging you.
What was that?
1536, okay.
Perfect.
He took some pictures, I think, of things.
If we want to get close to the device, please.
Don't make some noise in here. Give us something.
Yeah, you're on YouTube right now.
You read my mind, Gina.
We have to tell this.
It might be the time to get a little bit meaner. That's all I'm saying. You might want to drop a few lines about how his daughter ran off with the person he didn't want her to. Go ahead, push those buttons.
You got something you want to tell us, and you got something you want to object to, that people think about you. That's not true, tell us.
Oh, see, Rich is taking the nice guy routine.
Brian said maybe bring up the fact that your daughter tried to run off with somebody you didn't approve of.
How do you feel about, your daughter Sabina running off with someone that you like?
The enemy, your own.
There we go.
There we go. That's my guy, Rob.
And say, and I'm going out on my own, I don't care what he thinks.
I did see that flash.
What?
It
Is it?
What flash?
Mine?
Yeah,
Mine doesn't do anything.
that one right there.
Mine never does anything.
Oh,
Now she,
You said the K2?
I was, she said it up, and that never lights up.
Is that mine?
That's mine.
This one over here, I think, is
But this one here on the bed.
What was that?
That was my back probably on the floor.
Okay, all right, it was creaky and heavy.
Well, we were going to do that.
So was Jenny saying that she saw something on Rich's K2 meter light up, and was Rich saying that he never gets any hits on that thing?
To talk to us. Your mighty fortress strategically placed so your enemies, so you could see your enemies,
Dan,
and you can see your daughter run out with her.
who's Dan?
I think they're using the Ovilus right now.
Oh, okay.
Fought hard to keep this castle, and now they rent it out to peasants like yourself.
This is why we love Rob.
Did you make that light up on that little meter on the bed?
Green light, you can light up to many different colors.
If you can make that thing light up a little bit, I'll be impressed a little bit. Only because that thing never does anything. So, if you can make that thing light up, I would think that's a sign of possible interaction, so. But I'm a skeptic, I'm sorry.
Possibly. I mean, if you made it light up 3 times in a row, perfectly maxed out,
Like I started,
1, 2, 3, maybe.
I gotta start with full. One time,
Right.
okay, I'm starting to.
But he's a mighty warrior,
And he's a mighty warrior.
so he's a mighty warrior.
What they're using now, everybody, we call reverse psychology. It usually works on the weak-minded or people that come from a much earlier century than us. Let's listen in.
A warrior about his daughter. Running around with a warrior.
Yeah, that's a lot to absorb.
Maybe it's too early, maybe we're too early, 9:30, 10 o'clock, they're like, I'm back at midnight, buddy.
Maybe.
I don't think it's too early. I doubt that the spirits are sleeping. I would imagine that if there was a spirit here, I think be able to, make these light up.
A chant, what does chant mean?
It's like when you repeat them, the phrase and stuff.
So like Gina said, they're using the Ovilus right now. The Ovilus is just a random word generator. It will just generate words at a time on a screen, and sometimes we use that. We'll ask questions and see if we can get responses using that. But it's one of those pieces of equipment that you'll bring out if you feel like you're zoning in on something else.
You have to recharge, man. That's why they want to draw your energy, or draw our energy to try to do that.
We're gonna draw some energy.
Maybe it's because
Make me wanna take a nap.
maybe because we're cold. Maybe we don't have as much energy. Cold, our bodies are trying to keep ourselves as warm as possible. We don't have extra energy to give.
Maybe they could draw the warm energy if they warmed up the room a couple degrees.
No, light up that light if you think that's a good idea. Light up that light that wants to shut up. That's good, because we're gonna keep talking. Stop that.
But if you want us to leave, we can light up. We'll light any of those green lights.
That's me, I got percussion stuff. Earlier today, we took a walk outside on the grounds. And we were checking out all of the wall. The boathouse down there. Splashing was there. Or is that my?
That's a reflection of something, because when we're moving,
Yeah, it's kind of exists, but I thought
your camera,
yeah, but I thought I actually seen a pin light. Not just that wall, it was like something under the bed, but
so earlier today, when we were out in the grounds moving around,
yes, sir.
somebody
Oh,
damaged the wall out there.
those are something.
Who damaged the wall? Can you tell us the name,
The
the
enemy.
person that damaged the wall?
Except it's the enemy. The enemy damaged the wall. Huh?
Oh.
Okay.
The word enemy came up.
Who was your sworn enemy?
Very cool.
Hmm?
So the fact it really hasn't been saying words unless they've asked a question, and the machine doesn't know if it's being asked a question. It's just ambiently
Do
playing,
you
or,
think that,
you know.
can you make these lights light up?
We found a few things when we were out wandering the grounds today. Can you tell me what one of those objects are that we found?
You know, actually, from a couple of different things out there that we thought were pretty cool. Definitely didn't expect to see it out there, so.
Found some leftovers of some food. Can you tell me what that was?
Sorry. If anybody's watching at home and wants to know what we're talking about it on my phone here. I'll come on that camera to see. Biscuit. So,
So
that's what we're using.
he's showing the
That's
ovulus.
one word, spit out random words as we're asking the questions. And that's what you hear us referring to.
You know, Rich,
Yeah, Rob.
you and Kaz could be like, me and Kaz and be besties if you got a vest.
I have a vest.
Hold on your stuff.
Yeah. I have one, but I didn't see the benefit of it keeping me warm, so I was like, yeah, that's the thing, but
It's more clothing and something else.
That's true.
Than without.
That's true.
Oh, hilarious.
The camera on the back. Last night, this thing was going berserk.
How many cameras you got on your back?
To something. Yeah, we know we found something. He asked me if you could tell us what we found. Yeah. California.
What do we find?
We're searching.
How many cameras are on your back?
Yeah, he found himself while he was out there.
Kind of. Kind of found myself.
And he says, you're scared.
Wasn't scared.
Those guys just got a spurt out all of a sudden.
Ain't never scared, even when I found a finger in the bottle.
That wasn't that long. He confirmed or denied that there was a finger in the bottle because nobody would open it to smell it.
Because you could tell the smell.
Yeah. Last night the thing was going crazy, not going crazy, but I mean, it was given out, I've had a list of 30 words.
But that was also in the room we're gonna go into next.
That's the next one before we got lunch, and it'd be interesting to see when we get up there, that it picks up again, or if we get any repetition, because as of right now, none of these words are repeating themselves. And it's possible that you're just not gonna get what you're asking for, because that might not be a word that's in this encyclopedia of words for this app, you know?
Gina to Kez.
Did you repeat that?
Does Kez have a walkie?
I do not know.
No, they do not.
Okay, I was just gonna see if they wanted to go into a room that I could share with everybody.
We're gonna stay in this room for maybe another 10 minutes. Now we're gonna head up to Sabina's room.
Now
And they can
Sabina's room is,
and they can see if they need one.
Sabina's room is one, I guess, that gets a lot of,
Like the guy.
yes.
Yes.
So the owner told us that Sabina that mostly presents or shows herself or interacts with men only.
Or like, other caffeine.
So I'm gonna try to set this up and go run and find Amy and Kez. So give me a moment. It's
Okay.
a little shaky. I apologize.
Nope, you're good.
Hold on.
I'm sure people are probably wondering what are some of the big claims that happen in this castle. So basically, everybody who reports activity here, it really runs the gamut. You get disembodied voices. People have been scratched. You hear a lot of footsteps, doors shutting, knocks, shadows, figures, feelings of being watched. Um,
I didn't realize we had a.
people seem to not all agree on what is the most active room. But it seems like there's a lot of activity in the older tower with those rooms that are in there.
But if there's anyone.
Sabrina's room is one, though, like Gina said, that people really report that it's super duper active. So hopefully we'll be able to get something in there. You also have the O'Reilly room, who was the slasher. He is purported to haunt the entire castle. Some people have reported feeling a negative presence. So is that the slasher? Is that the Black Baron? Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out tonight. With Rob and Rich there, anything is possible.
Who damaged the wall today?
It's getting they're getting something right now.
Oh.
Rob had asked a question of it earlier of who destroyed the wall today, did damage to the wall today, and said policeman.
Well, as is no
And
longer an officer.
Says how I think was climbing on the wall and the little piece of rubble came down and because you.
Still indulge, you still indulge
Who knows?
one of the items to be
Awesome.
found there.
I'm gonna go try to find
On the
it.
ground.
All right, we'll listen into these guys.
I didn't change, that's for sure.
Did you see me flying my drone earlier? Sorry about that. Sorry about that experience. Yeah, I think I did pretty good.
Oh, well,
I did.
no, I meant, it started to look like it was going up, that's.
Pretty good with it. I didn't lose it. All the way,
You were able to retrieve it.
most of it.
Are you scared of us? Is that why you're not communicating? I think we're chill, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna spend another night here. At least give us one really cool thing. Like, just kick that door open.
Making noise in that serious bathroom you over there.
It's stuff like, let's go. Let's get this party started. No,
I don't think you buy it.
don't think anybody's
Or
done
whoever's
it.
buying it, yeah. That bathroom is nuts.
You know what we need? We need one of those cameras like in the Teslas. You ever see those videos of the people out of their Tesla and they're in a graveyard? And it has like the car and the paths, and then it shows people, because it's supposed to show like where pedestrians are. But they're in the graveyard at night by themselves, and it shows like people all over and they take it out.
Like people are like, people like.
And it shows like a symbol for a person.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like an actual camera thing, but
Try to turn it down.
they go in the graveyards and it happens. So it must be very accurate. Cause right, otherwise what lie to you, you're out there. Telling there were people, there were no people. Probably still some people that didn't even know.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to meet our official. That was me. Sorry, Mom.
I will.
That, you guys are both killing me there.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna switch over to the library because.
All right.
Because we're gonna go into the library. Now, this room in the library actually had a Ouija board sitting on the table when we walked in. So,
Oh, really? It was there when you got there.
yes, it was. Now I'll have to change our code or something. I don't know why the camera is so foggy in the den, if you can see that down here in the bottom corner.
Has it been like that since you guys set it up?
It wasn't like that earlier but it's been like that for a while. I just haven't gone in there to check it out, but we're gonna
That's
go in
interesting.
the library. Let me turn the sound off on these guys. Turn
And
this
this library is awesome. It has big racks of books.
on. I was wondering where you were going with that.
I wish it had a Beauty and the Beast ladder. That would be even better.
Okay, the room is bigger than this than.
Mhm.
Second, I'm gonna let these guys, I'm gonna let the other guys know that they are
Okay.
no stars of the show.
I keep feeling if this was a horror movie, Kez is going to be pulled into the wall,
You know, right?
right? Like,
You know that we are now in the library with Amy and Kez, so we'll switch back to you guys shortly. Just let me know when you move to the upstairs.
do we have a radio now for Kez and Amy?
No, but they're just in the room right next door.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put the microphone up
All right.
to the TV so that I don't have it turned up too loud. Can you hear that?
Um, can't hear anything unless they're not talking.
No, Kez is talking.
There we go. Now we have it.
I gotta plug in my computer here. I'm gonna have to disconnect the microphone, so you'll have to let me know if there's any problems with volume after this.
Okay.
What'd they do? Okay.
There we go. That sounds good.
Amy's going around the corner to where there's a bathroom.
Okay.
You're hearing noises.
Okay.
Can you get that click one more time?
Now behind that wall, see all those fake books on that wall next to Kez's.
Yes.
So like right here in this area,
Mm-hmm.
that's a fake wall. It's painted like that, and you slide it open, and it's a secret door that goes to the staircase that goes up the tower.
Oh my God, that's funny because I said it looks like Kez is going to get pulled in through a secret passage.
It's exactly what it is.
Wow.
Do anything make noises? Obvious noise, not this.
Sorry.
About that.
Did you guys talk about how your family name was around for a while? You said something about ilk, your ilk. Were you talking about your relatives? Or a certain group of people?
Did you just see the camera flash? I
Did
just
we
heard.
see what?
Did you guys see the camera flash just before that? So the
I
camera
did not.
flashed. And then right after the camera flashed, there was a knocking now, a noise. They have the K2 standing up towards the computers or towards the camera so we can see it. It's right
Right
there.
there. Yep.
So if that lights up, we'll be able to see it. The light behind me is on a motion sensor and we can't turn it off. So anytime I move, so
So they've been having some knocking going on in there, right? They heard some coming from the bathroom next door too.
yes. And just for everybody to know, I heard that. So there's a door between the two of us,
Hmm.
but they can't hear me to tell them that I can hear that too. Did you just hear that knock?
Well, yeah, what was that?
They have no idea.
Could you hear that on your side of the room, or was that
Nope,
just
I
from
couldn't
them?
hear that on my side of the wall. I heard it on the TV.
That one was quite loud.
But I couldn't hear it in here. That's how good the sound barrier is between the walls. I'm just checking Facebook while we're doing this just to see if anybody's on there with questions.
There was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make any other noises that we do a click for you. Do you want us to leave?
You're breaking up, Gina. Yeah, you're frozen, Gina.
Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes. There we go. We are back in action.
Okay.
I feel like that was the spiel that comes over the radio at Haunted Mansion when you're temporarily delayed. Playful spooks have delayed us.
Yes, it was weird. I don't know what's going on. The whole thing was frozen. Everything seems to be running fine.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to have them. Oh, so Kaz opened up a cabinet door, if you see in the bottom
Uh-huh.
part of there. And so they're trying to see if somebody will close the door. There's lots of reports of doors getting open and closed. And for those of you watching, just to let you know, I am typically investigating, but I have a broken portion of my foot called the small toe. And it is
Tisk tisk.
3 places and I'm having a hard time walking. I'm in a boot, so I have to stay planted at base camp. The spiral staircase to go upstairs is literally like this, the steps are this skinny at some point as it just goes all the way up the tower.
Yeah, that winding staircase.
Oh, I think they heard something. Or saw something. They're seeing something on the wall.
We see Kaz pointing.
They saw a light move across the wall, but they're trying to debunk like where it came from. So apparently there's a green light on maybe like a smoke detector or something on the wall. And it,
Okay.
but like something disrupted the green light from showing. So they didn't know if it was Amy moving and maybe had blocked the light, but it would have had to have come from above.
Okay.
We're getting something.
You can do that one more time. That would be pretty cool. Maybe they might wiggle.
So I guess the green light's kind of wiggling.
Okay.
Or blinking maybe.
And I don't see anything.
Can you watch the light?
Fez just talks so softly, it's hard to hear what they're
Mhm.
saying.
We feel like we're all what we did last time. And then I can see them. Right, and I don't see anything else. There's like cover over the light. No.
I'm just gonna see where the guys are. Well, Jenny.
Okay.
Just gonna see where they're at real quick. Okay, they're still in the Baron room, so
Okay.
let's I'm gonna check in with them real quick. I'm gonna turn the sound off on Amy and Kaz for a second. Let's check back in with these guys. I gotta turn the sound on, sorry.
Find out it's kind of what it sounds like on here, listen to it again, now start listening, before that happens, you hear like,
Okay.
sounds like talking.
So
Sounds like they got something.
You just take that. You know,
What time is it gonna be at?
it happens pretty quick, like 45:02 or 45.
We're tuned back into you guys. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yeah, we will in a second.
This is exciting.
Let's see what they got going on.
You guys are seeing how the sausage is actually made. This is pretty exciting. I can tell Rich is excited about this.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We think we just got, we heard a disembodied moan, it sounded like. We should probably take it over, pull headphones out, people can hear it. Yeah, we'll let Jenny listen to it first, but, we were talking and I thought it was Rob.
45:02.
And Rob is adamant that it was not him, it wasn't me. And you hear like a moan or a hum, but before, after listening to it a couple times, sounds like there's some mumbling or talking before and after it,
Okay.
so. I don't know what it is, it'll be interesting to see if it showed up on that, the camera and our
the body cam. Yep. Exactly. The body cam will be interesting.
Able to hear it with your own ears, and now you were just going back to listen. Oh, man.
I'll take it over by the camera for you guys can listen.
I've been thinking for the last 2
Yeah.
minutes, to check in with them.
Boy, and just so everybody knows, it's one thing for one of us to get really excited in this moment. The real test comes when you hand it over to somebody else on the team and they
Okay.
listen to it. Rob is not easy to get excited.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Dr. Rich asked where the heater is.
Ready?
What is that?
Could you hear that at all?
Okay, yeah, so was it kind of like a moan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, if you could play it back again, and then I'll tell everybody when to listen. So you can hear them talking,
Okay.
and while he's talking, it happens over top of him talking.
Wait, hold on, I can tell you when to listen.
Yeah, you go ahead and tell us when to listen. Go ahead and replay it. And now the moan is actually making a moan over top of you talking in the audio, correct?
Right, so Rich will say, where's the heater? And I'm like, I don't know, but when I say the first, I don't know, or you hear like a breath, and then in between you'll hear a moan, like a moan. It's not super loud, but it sounded like it was by me. I heard it, Rich heard it, and we have the recording. So I'm sure you can't see the numbers, but it's gonna be within 7 seconds after I
Okay.
push play.
I'll just have you back up just a little bit because it's distorted being that close to the microphone. So
I couldn't hear it.
You can hear that?
Brian, you go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it, guys. I couldn't hear it on my end. I think it might be something with getting through. The audio is a little bit different for Gina than it is for me on this end.
We can
Yeah,
upload it for everybody.
Yeah, the thing about it also, guys, on, out there in TV land, before that happens, I think I can hear like mumbling or some type of whisper talk, underneath me talking, and then you hear that as well, and then after that ends, you can still hear a little bit of something else going on. Don't know what it was, but we could hear the moan or whatever that was, we could hear that with our own ears.
But we also had body cams on too, so.
Yeah.
we Go with that.
And past experience tells us that sometimes you can get stuff on one piece of equipment, not on the other. But all three of us have.
Did you
body
see
cameras
that?
on,
Yes, I did.
moving, plus that camera's got to record, I mean.
That camera actually went out when you were talking about the different things that our equipment would do. The camera completely went out and came back on.
Yes.
Was I stepping out, it records way over here, it records over here.
See, so they're debunking it just to make sure.
Yep.
Gina said that the camera went out, when I was explaining, but sometimes our other piece of equipment will catch the same thing or might not catch the same thing. So it's good that we have several things running, so we'll have to verify with this other equipment. If they caught it, and sometimes the other piece of equipment won't catch it, or it'll catch something and it's totally different than what you think you heard. So we'll have to do some digging on that, but it was definitely out of place. Because just before that, we did like a 5 minutes of silence, and nobody said, moved, did anything. And then right after that, we started talking, and I was curious where Peter was, and that's how that conversation started, so.
Gotcha.
I don't know, but we're gonna head up to Selena's room.
Okay, sounds good. I might send the other two up with you. But I'm gonna check back in with them now, so we'll see you guys in a bit.
That's really great stuff. That is a good one. I cannot wait for you to be able to get that uploaded so
Yeah.
I can hear it with my naked ears, as John Madden would say.
Right? We'll definitely get that like isolated and uploaded. So let me just get back to Amy and Kez.
So some of the stuff that they've talked about already that they've been getting a little bit earlier in the investigation when we were talking about the bathroom in that first room that Rich, Jenny, and Rob were in, and they were saying they were getting a lot of female voices coming through the GhostBot 3000 or Spirit Box 3000. That room in particular, I didn't want to say what all of the claim was that people were saying in that bathroom, but they were saying like female voices is a lot what they were getting. And the moaning is another one that seems to come up a lot that people have reported, that you get bangs and knocks, moaning. And we have Kez and Amy getting very audible knocks.
Yes.
I mean, that we're getting on our end that we can hear.
And Kez is doing a live EVP session. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's where you wear the headphones and you use a recorder, like a digital recorder, and it magnifies and amplifies the noise that's in the room. So some things that we can't hear with our ears, we're able to hear. So it's like putting on a supersonic hearing, essentially. And sometimes you can hear things come through there that the bare ear cannot hear.
It's an amazing tool. It's really cool when you put it on.
Sorry, my friend, my bestie Shannon texted me. She's like, I can see you. And so I just want to watch and love you.
I don't know you and I love you too. Yeah, it's a really cool piece of equipment. You're basically listening and reviewing at the same time because
Yeah.
you're essentially, it literally is a live, real-time EVP that you're doing.
You should see my setup here, man. I got cords and wires all around me. This is a very delicate setup at the moment. Okay, Amy and Kez are coming out.
You should see my setup. I got a big brown weenie right here.
Yeah.
Oh, Slinky. Say hi to everybody, Slink.
We did not see the
Boy.
we're talking about on that wall. Kez is behind, oh yeah, you can see. We didn't see any of the disruption, but we saw you guys trying to debunk it. We heard what was going on. Then we cut back upstairs a little bit after that. Do you guys want to go up to Sabina's room with them? That's where they're heading right now.
They're going up there.
Mhm.
Maybe in a minute.
Okay.
It's like, so it's the green, there's a green emergency exit light.
Mhm.
And so it's
Talk a
casting.
little louder.
There's a green emergency exit light and it's casting a little bit of a shadow onto the wall, like a light, very faint. And I don't know what, it's just like a shadow, like a ripple, like a disturbance.
Well, if you guys, I mean, definitely stay in there if you think that you've got some more communication. Do you
And
have
then
it?
unfortunately, her thing died. I wonder if she was pointed towards that window.
Hey, I have a question though. Do you guys want to take the other spirit box thing in there?
Spirit box?
Yeah, like not the small spirit box, but the bigger one with the uses the deeper tones.
Oh, I don't know how to use that.
You just turn it on. Right here. If you want to use it. I just didn't know if you want to take some other equipment in there. We're just trying to see if they want to take some more equipment into that room. I don't know.
You wanna do it?
Your mom will kill you. Cause it's like, will Amy do a Ouija board with me? Okay, just for those of you out there, that's not something we normally use.
No.
First came here, the Ouija board was just sitting on the table. So Kez's rule was they would try it with Rob, but properly bye. Like can't just like not say goodbye. Oh yeah. Okay, so Kez is gonna, okay, bring that here for 1 second and show them, please. Right here. So we have our new robot.
Oh, yes.
So we're gonna try the robot. So what the
Awesome.
robot does is you sit it down and it's motion activated. So if something goes past it, it'll turn and go in that direction. So that's the robot making that noise. Oh,
Whoop.
it doesn't do that normally.
Yeah, what's going on here?
This also will record. It's going after something. Something is making it do this. It doesn't do this. It only interacts if something interacts with it, like motion or. See, now it's not doing anything. It's hard to see because
Right. Well, we saw it take off when it was first put down.
are you able to see it, Brian, or do I need to have?
Yes.
Hey, Kaz, that chair's in the way. They have the door open, so that's why they're.
Okay. I didn't want to have Kez move anything with that chair just because it has been doing its thing, but that's okay. Now we have a clear view of the robot.
Kaz has the door open between the two of us right now.
Okay.
We can hear me. But as soon as that thick wooden door is shut, they can't hear me. See, now that's how it's supposed to
Right.
move.
It took off.
Yeah, it was going insane.
I mean, yeah, now Kez is really right on it. And we're not getting that kind of action.
Yes,
That was a tap.
I love tap.
But that's what it looked like though when it first took off.
Can't see it there.
Yeah, we can't see it there.
I'm gonna go let them know that we can't see it there. Give me 1 second.
We did not, I can't see that reflection on there at all.
Okay, now we can see Gina has arrived and is going through now and is trying to see what's going on with our robot here. Because that was really interesting. That thing really doesn't like to do a whole lot. Like what Gina's doing right now is what we're used to getting with our little robot. But that was a lot of action that it had earlier when it was brought into the room, for sure. Yeah, see, we're not getting a lot of forward rolling motion. It's more of just turning. Whereas earlier, we got some motion out of that thing. Gina is perplexed.
So do you see it just move?
Yeah, see, again, that's
Nobody's moving.
no, and that's I was explaining to everybody that when you went in there to
Look at
check
this.
that, see, look at that. We were not getting that motion before. And we had kind of an orb just move across. Again, I only pointed out because it was different than anything else we've seen in
Yeah.
this room. Yep.
Look at that.
Look at I mean, you guys saw Gina go in there. Gina and Kez were testing that. We were getting turning. We weren't getting motion.
Kez is like, get the fuck away. Oh, because it does
That's
not
amazing.
unless it's like. It is so
That's
motion
that's
detected.
incredible.
Okay, so there's a bug flying around, potentially
Okay.
a fly that it sensed. So we gotta now take what's just happened with a grain of salt. Not all,
Yes.
some of it was kind of crazy, but we just now saw that bug for the first time.
The turning motion is one thing, but the forward and backward motion is still really strange. Look at that.
I'm gonna go on Facebook and tell people they're just not gonna believe.
Yeah, this is, and now it's back.
Oh
It
my,
came back to the spot. Look at it. It's going right back to the original spot.
Kaz is giving it commands.
Now, Gina, I can't stress enough about the orb nonsense, but I will say, and I'm only bringing this up because you were talking about that fly being around. So I wasn't noticing any type of anything floating by until the robot started doing all the motion, even when it was first put down in the room. It seems like every time we get a lot of motion out of that, what we're also getting stuff floating past the camera. So I guess the question is going to be, is that something paranormal, or is that what we're seeing fly by the camera? Is that the fly? And we're getting
Right.
the motion around the same time.
Yeah, and that's, oh, look at this thing go. And that's what we gotta keep looking at. This is insane.
This is incredible.
It's going crazy, but we can't see it.
So now it's nice that we have it stamped when they notice the fly. So
Yes.
you guys during evidence review will be able to try to pick it out on the screen to see what it looks like. So we
Yep.
can compare it against everything else.
I'll be right back.
Okay. This is not a horror movie. Everybody, Gina can say she'll be right back, and she will be right back. If she doesn't, then this video is going to be crazy real quick. But this is pretty incredible, everybody. You saw Kez and Gina trying to get some motion out of that robot, and you just don't get that rolling forward and rolling backwards. Now, I know we were talking about Kez and Amy saw that there was a fly flying around in there. So hopefully, like we said, we'll be able to go back, look at the footage, and be able to pick out where that fly is so we can get an idea of what it looks like. But at the same time, that's very strange that the motion of a human being waving their hand and doing motion does not get it to roll that way. So this is very interesting.
Sorry, I cut that off for a second.
That's okay. I was just explaining to everybody again, just kind of breaking this down and what it can and can't be or could be, and that is very, very interesting.
This is pretty interesting.
Yes, it is.
We heard another noise. Shannon messaged and says, I'm waiting for the books to go flying off the shelves. The robot is really freaky.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And it doesn't normally fall over either. This thing,
Okay, so there, I can't tell if that was a reflection off of Kez's light on the books.
yeah, I saw that.
There was one very bright piece to it.
Now that's dust that's going across the bottom of the
Yep.
screen. Oh,
There we go again with the,
and it just turns around to go the other way.
I
Because it's trying to give directions to go faster to get over the hump.
don't understand why we can't recreate that by doing motion. But and then it's going to come back.
It fell over.
Make it to the door, we'll leave.
Gotta make it all the way to that door though. You can smash into that door and we'll get out.
Amy knocked over the K2 and scared herself. So they're just basically saying, hey, look, if you take off and go towards the door, we'll leave. And now it's not moving at all.
Maybe it likes them. It's having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta move the go back to the door if you want to get out of here. You go.
It's going to the door.
Get out and message.
Nope.
Boy.
So we ordered this robot back at the end of October for our team inventory. We ordered it from the UK, came from somewhere in England. Took us about a month to get it after we ordered it, maybe a couple weeks. We had seen it actually, I think Zach Beggins had used it. It's the only person I've ever seen use it. And as soon as I saw that being used, I was like, we have to have one of those. So I was
Yes.
quickly looking online and ordered it. I've even been paying attention to see like, oh, there goes the camera again. I've even been paying attention to see if there's any correlation with the flashlight going across it and it
Uh-huh.
crazy, but nothing.
No, I was thinking, yep. I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
There it goes.
This one, you come back for it here. Well. Trying to get it. We're gonna have to send them back up. You gotta make it all the way to the door. You can't get the message unless you can go to the door.
What was that sound?
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
We're gonna have to go back over audio on that. Do you have something to write with?
Uh, Give me one sec here. Yes.
Just write down, camera 6, 18, 13.
Camera 6, 18, 13.
Second night, yep,
Okay.
thank you. And then you can just text it to me and I'll
Yep.
remember. Thank you. Now, did you just see that? So you missed that one, but that's okay. So put 18. Hold on a second. Why does this seem like it just was going backwards? What time did I tell you?
1813 is what you had for that sound that we heard.
Then go 1814.
Okay.
I have to check that out.
Okay.
It's trying to go to the door. The 1814 is gonna be an orb that I need to take a look at.
Okay. Okay.
We've just seen a lot that we need to stamp and I haven't written it down because my hand,
Yep.
I'm different things.
I mean, this one will be kind of easier because once that robot starts moving, when Kez puts it down that first time, basically this whole chunk has to be looked at.
Yes,
Um,
it's going crazy again.
oh,
Literally, you just stand it up. There's no buttons.
Oh.
There's no buttons on it. There's an on and an off. If you tap the top of his head, it'll do a couple little tricks, but they have not
okay.
tapping its head. And they don't know about the tapping. They don't know about the tapping on the head.
Hey, Gina, where
Yes.
is the ground floor of the tower room?
So like, are you looking at a picture? Like you're trying to get a,
No, I have some notes written down of what some claims were. Um,
the ground floor of the tower room is where Kez and Amy are right now.
are you serious? Okay. Give me 1 minute. I will be right back. And then I'm gonna blow your mind.
Okay, this is exciting. So for those of you watching, you have to see right now. I'm gonna be intently watching the robot. I'm like managing several screens right now, so you'll have to bear with me. Sorry for interrupting you guys. We just have some good stuff going on down in the library with Amy and Kez. We'll be tuning into you guys here shortly. I'll let you know when.
In a complete 360-degree circle.
Kez, can you move it? Oh, they're not gonna hear me through there. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. We're not gonna be able to see it, so I gotta ask them to move it. This is our first time really investigating with this, so we're still trying to get the nuances of it's moving around, but Kez is trying to demonstrate how they would like to see the robot move in order to communicate. So Kez basically said, if you make it spin around in 360 degrees, we'll leave the room. Goes.
Keep going.
Kez isn't sure how I feel about this. And so Brian talked about seeing a light on the bookshelf earlier, and now I pretty much can debunk it. It's from the light from Kez's equipment that they're holding.
Give it the time that you can control that movie board by turning around and that.
All right, Gina, I'm back. I heard you say that you noticed that the equipment is what was doing the light on the bookshelf.
Equipment, it was kind of the way that they were moving the
Okay.
light, and I think it was bouncing off, reflecting off of the recorder in Kez's other hand and bouncing up to the
Okay.
bookshelf. Like it was a reflection, basically. Oh,
Whoa.
Okay, so I don't know if anybody saw that, but.
Yes, listen. It picked the Ouija piece. And it like it went over the Ouija piece, lifted it up and turned it to take it towards the Ouija board.
Oh, come on.
Like, we're done, we're out. I'm
Uh,
gonna have to listen to what you're gonna say.
okay.
It's been off.
Okay, hang on. Brian's gonna tell us something about the room that you guys were in. So if you want to hang out here for a second and hear what he has to say.
So on one of an investigation that another person has investigated that castle many times, I was writing down some of their claims, and one of the things were on the ground floor tower room is they would get EVPs of a dog barking. So while you guys were in there, there was something that Gina and I had to timestamp. It was a sound that we heard that stood out, and my first thought was, is it almost sounded like a dog barking. So
We had
that's
dog sound up in our room yesterday.
so I asked Gina what the ground floor tower room is, and she said it's the room that Kez and Amy are in. So that was really cool. That kind of blew my mind because that was one of the things that those people were reporting would happen often in that room. And we got something, we have a timestamp, so hopefully we'll be able to go back and pick it apart. But it kind of sounded like a dog, so I got pretty excited about it.
Well, and that's crazy because the way it was acting and the way it was like turning around and going around on the floor, like, was it chasing after a dog? Is there a ghost dog here? Who knows?
Honestly, okay, that would kind of make a little sense purely because it kept running under the chair.
Which is what
Okay.
dog?
Interesting.
It kept running under the chair. That's what it wanted to do. We'd say, take it to the door, and it would run under the chair.
That's
Well,
wild.
in the end there, which is why we got up and we were done, as it looked like it ran into the Ouija piece and then started turning it around towards
Yeah,
the
the planchette,
and
yeah.
I was like,
Nope.
not interested. But I don't know, like, can that robot move
I don't know.
without motion?
Sorry.
I mean, when you guys were trying to debunk it when Gina came in there and you guys are waving your hands in front of it and everything, it's not doing any back and forth motion. It turns.
But
You're
just as
not getting it to go forward or backwards.
like a toy, like think of it if it's just like a toy, right?
Right.
Moves around on its own because
It
it's
can
not
in a
doing
different
anything.
mode, but we don't have it in that mode.
Okay.
And you guys don't know how to use it.
Well, he
so-
started jamming. Did you hear the music? He started playing music.
Right, that is a mode that has to be engaged that's not turned on. You guys did not turn that on. It can do that, but it doesn't do that without you doing a specific thing and you didn't do it.
Because I kept picking him up by his head and turning him.
Yeah.
That's what you did too, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Picked him up by his head. I don't know. That was strange.
Would one of you guys like, well, it's very delicate, so I need to go take a couple minute break real quick.
Mhm.
So Brian, I'm gonna go to a different camera. Let's check in on the other guys here really quick.
Yes, let's do that because they were getting some stuff too.
You guys mind hanging out here just to make sure nothing happens for a second while
I feel like
need-
we're going to the Tron game grid every time you do that.
All right, let's check on these. Let's see here. Oops, wrong one. Okay, I need to turn the sound off in the library and let's turn the sound on up here. We are now joining you live.
Well, we need to leave this room.
Oh, did something happen or did something not happen?
A couple years. EVPs that we didn't check and can't really identify.
Which one?
something like the name of the, but nothing. Yeah, or interacting, so we were gonna start heading back down and maybe they can. I don't hear, or maybe still down in the library.
So they just came out of the library because of some stuff that happened. So if you guys want to come down here, we can chat and tell you about it. I can have you guys sit around the computer and Brian can fill you guys in on everything while I take a little break. All right, so Brian, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this computer and go put it at the dining table, turn on some lights, and the whole team can kind of chit chat with everybody. I just need a drink of water and I need some Tylenol really quick. So that way you can chit chat and the team can, you guys can talk to everybody watching and you can fill them in on what happened in the library, you, Kez, and Amy. Okay, so stand by. There's going to be a little bit of shuffling around, so pardon me with that. I'll actually turn off the camera so nobody gets motion sickness.
So I'm watching pretty intently on our camera that's set up there, which is Sabina's room, I believe. We'll double check with the guys when they jump on. But now as we're watching and we see that we have no investigators in that room, it's interesting just to kind of get a feel for what the environment is as far as when you see dust moving past the camera and that kind of stuff. Get a baseline when you don't have anybody in there so you can see how things are moving. So that way, if there's any difference once people do get in there, see, like right now we have something hanging around Gina. I'm going to mark that off. Hey, Gina, can you hear me? Can you give me a timestamp right now on that room?
I can't, oh, hang on, let me move it so that you can see it. Hang on. What's the time? What, 18?
Okay, now we have again. Okay, you're missing it.
29.
Okay, we just go ahead.
1829.
Okay, so you guys are gonna have to go back and around. Let me know what camera that is. Camera 1. And is that Sabina's room? Yeah, let's stay on that room.
Maybe some weird stuff happened, not sure.
Are you moving the camera right now, Gina?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's stay on that room. So for everybody who's watching, you guys saw the same thing that I did. You see the orbs that I'm talking about. And it's funny because I was just explaining that when you have no investigators in the room, nobody's moving around in there, you can really get a feel for what your baseline is, how dust looks, how particles floating in the air look, and you're looking for things that are going to stand out different from that. So right away when we're talking about that, we had one show up on the left side of the camera or the left side of the screen, to the left of the door. I'm not sure if that is a closet, if that's a mirror, but it looked like we got something that appeared there. And then right after that, we have something else come across from the left, going across to the right, to the upper right. And they only stand out because the way that they're moving is different, and they also seem to have a lot of light attached to them. They're not that translucent dust particle look to them. They were definitely very bright, so that's really interesting, seeing as we don't have anybody in that room right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you guys sit around with Brian here in front of the computer as best we can. I just need the adapter from Rob.
Here.
I did it again.
And I don't want people to think, again, with the orbs, we discount them just as much as everybody else does. But in these circumstances, like we were just talking about, when you see something out of the ordinary as opposed to what the baseline seems to be, that's when you can start connecting it with some other experiences that you have. So very interesting.
Hang on, I'm gonna try to bring you closer so that everybody can kind of gather around.
Oh, I feel like I'm there with you guys, only I'm dry.
I'm just trying to make it so if you guys could all get in the frame so people that are watching can see you guys. That's me over here. So you guys are going to update these guys as to what was going on for you in that room. But I want the listeners, the people that are watching, to be able to hear you guys, so you're gonna have to get closer to the computer as a group and interact, because Brian's interacting with them. So make sure you can hear you.
All
Don't
right,
let my
who wants to go
computer-
first? You guys want to
Don't
go
let my
first?
computer
You
die.
guys got.
Yeah, we got you guys. We can hear you guys just fine.
Tell us
On about us?
Yeah, what did you guys experience? I don't know.
Here, sit
Yeah,
here.
because Rich and Jenny have no idea. You guys are both blind to each other right now, so this will be fun.
Okay.
Excited.
Yeah, Kez, why don't you and Amy go ahead first and explain what was happening down in that library?
Sure. So it initially sounded like we were getting clicking, like a click.
And
was
some of
on-
that stuff was audible to us. Like we could hear it on our end.
and
You
it
had a
seemed-
couple of big bangs.
it was on command. It wasn't rhythmic. And we'd
And
say, if you could click again,
Yeah.
and then within 5 seconds it would click. And then we stopped asking and stopped doing it.
Right.
So that was cool.
Interesting.
Then there was a light on the wall.
So you guys know how we got all these emergency exit lights and stuff?
Mhm.
So there's a green glow in
Yep,
that room for
yep.
that reason.
Yep.
And on the wall by where the whatever animal there, there started to be like a ripple, like a shadow on the wall, but it wasn't solid. It wasn't like,
It almost looked like a water reflection in the
Correct.
green.
but then it almost looked like, I thought it was like maybe something coming in from the window, like tree branches, because to me it looked like it went back and forth a couple times, and then it rippled a couple times. And I looked over at Amy, I was like, "Are you moving?" And she wasn't. And the camera was dead at that point, I think.
Yeah, your camera.
So it wasn't like an
It was
IR
dead,
interference,
yeah.
because that's what I thought it was. Well, anyways, did it, stopped, was completely solid. You finally looked,
Mm-hmm.
started doing it again, stopped, it was solid. And then we're like, "Hey, can you do that one more time?" And then it was like, the shadow that time was almost darker.
Mm-hmm.
And then so she stood up and we were both waving our hands
Trying
and
to
stuff
make
from
the-
where we
yeah,
were.
yeah.
Couldn't
It
make the
was
same
not-
thing happen.
See a bug in front of it. You know, by that light or whatever, but I mean, there wasn't anything in the inside. It has a case on it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and then it just stopped. Then it would not do it for us the rest of the time.
Okay.
And then we brought out the cute little robot,
Mhm.
and he was following around nothing, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
As in
nothing.
moving and not supposed to be.
Right. We were taking in consideration that the floor is really bumpy because sometimes it would fall over, but then we were trying to get it to either go to one door if they wanted us out and then to the back door going up the, you know, up the stairs if they wanted us to stay. And it seemed like it was trying to go towards to get us out.
And it
But
would
it kept
wipe out
falling
every
over.
time it got
Yep.
close.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're just like, well, it's got to hit the door. We're not going to leave unless it hits the door. And then it would get speed and it would go and then it would wipe out
Right.
from the bumps.
Right. So then Kez put it on the table.
And yeah, I put it on the table right between the Ouija board and the planchette. So he's facing the planchette, he's facing me, and he's just kind of wiggling there for a little
Mhm.
bit. And all of a sudden, it's like very deliberate, runs into the planchette lifts up, and then it starts turning very slowly with the planchette towards the board. And I immediately was like, "Nope, we're not doing that shit." And I grabbed the robot and I said, "We're done." So I don't know, that was very interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
But it was like all of a sudden it became not clumsy. Do you know what I
Yeah, it was
mean?
very like a deliberate, like it picked it up and like turned it. Because I didn't want that planchette touching that board at that moment. There was no way.
So then you quit, you left?
Yeah, then we were,
left.
well, you guys were walking down the stairs pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
And then, but what I will say is that the robot, when it would take off for its first time, would always run like it was running underneath the chair.
Mhm.
They were talking about possibly a dog being in that room. Like that's a common thing that they hear a dog barking in that room.
Mhm.
Now get this, remember yesterday when we were upstairs?
I said.
Under the chair,
Yeah, we had under chair.
What chair?
under
Yeah.
chair. I'm just saying, remember when we were getting under chair?
We were upstairs in the Baron's room or one of those rooms we were sitting, the room where we got the humming or the.
I wasn't in
the
that
moaning.
room with you when you.
Amy
were
was
doing
sitting
that
next to
chair
me
thing.
and we got under the chair.
Mhm.
Okay, cause I thought I heard a dog barking and ended up being some,
Tapping. It was
yeah,
like-
other weird tapping
Yeah,
sound.
rhythmic
up there.
tapping.
Well, and I think, didn't you say you heard a dog barking when we were in that room?
Right. So did you guys get any audible sound that you guys could hear at any point? And it was almost like a two-syllable, like kind of you know what it sounded like? And I assumed it had to be what it was, but I didn't hear it any other time. It almost sounded like the gears of the robot really winding up in like a two revving sound, like a almost like that. But the robot doesn't make that sound when it's moving, right? There's no, we didn't notice it in any of the audio. How loud is that robot when it's moving?
You heard it,
I don't
I
know.
mean,
it's got servos in it or
I would
something.
have to re-listen to it to hear
Right.
it because, I mean, it does make like a noise. And it was
It-
making noises in
Okay.
there. Kind of.
yeah, it
but-
kind of like talks a little.
Yeah, it was interesting because me and Gina both heard it, and it was something that stood out from all the other times. And I mean, and that robot was moving a lot, and it's not something that we heard. It was just in one little spot. We marked it down for the sound, but it almost did sound like a dog. And in some of my research that I had done, other investigations on the ground floor of the tower room report dog barking that they would pick up, and they were just as confused. That sounds like a dog barking. So when I asked Gina where that room is, she said it's the one that Kez and Amy are in. So it was interesting with that sound, plus what other people's experiences have been. Plus, we were getting a lot of orb type activity in that room, and that's why I wanted that camera to stay on there. There was another timestamp that we had to do where we saw something that was worth looking at. We were able to debunk one of them. We saw light on the bookshelf at one point, but Gina, I think she said that she was able to figure that out, that it was from Kez's equipment. So we know that that one is thrown out. But even once you guys left that room now, and you guys were all on your way down, I was explaining to everybody else that it was a good look at that room because you get a baseline with nobody in there. Nobody's moving around. There's nothing. So any dust or any particles you see floating through that room, that's probably a good indication of what that room just generally does. So as I'm explaining that, is that a mirror in that room, you guys, where the door is open right now? If you're looking at the screen to the left of the door, is that a mirror or is that a closet? What is
Yeah.
that?
That's the bathroom. And there is
Okay.
there's a sinks in there.
Okay. So as I was discussing that, I had to get a timestamp from Gina, so we have that written down also. But nobody was in there. But while I was explaining that we can see dust and things floating around, in that doorway, something appeared that looked orb-like. It was bright. It just came out of that spot and it kind of moved away. And then we got another one that was the same thing that moved from the left of that screen up and over to the right. And again, it was very bright and the pattern was going upwards, not downwards or floating around the bottom of the screen that we've been seeing most of the time in that room. So really interesting. And that's Sabina's room, right?
Also remember, as far as orbs and dust go, there are no fans, ceiling fans, floor fans, and there are no vents. Everything is
Radiator.
electric or radiator heated.
Right. That's really interesting. Just like in the library where Kez and Amy were with the orbs that we were seeing in there, we were getting a lot of stuff that would pop up when the robot was moving. And there wasn't a lot of activity with stuff floating around in there at all, really, as we're watching. But once that robot, it almost started right when you came in, Kez, and put the robot down for the first time, that you started to notice more things floating by the camera. So it was really interesting. And then you guys said you saw a fly. So that's going to be kind of cool to try to pinpoint where that fly is when you guys notice it, to see if we can find it on the camera. So you can get a baseline for what that looks like and compare it to the other things that were floating around. But Rich and Jenny and Rob, what were you guys getting when you were up in the Baron's room?
It was very quiet. We weren't getting a lot of activity on our devices or anything like that. We did hear a couple of sounds, and there was a sound of a humming, a moan kind of humming with a breath. But it didn't seem to be very active in any of the three rooms that we were in. Would you agree, Rob?
I would agree. The moan and the breath sound were also under talking and in between, and we heard it audibly, and we were still able to find it on the recorder. So that was in the Baron's room, and then there was a questionable one, like a tapping or something up in Sabina's room. But outside of that, there was we got a couple creaks and a bang, but nothing that seemed to be like actually interacting with us. And it's clearly it's an old
It's
building.
very old.
This is
Right.
Probably,
Just about
quite the
anything.
lag, is that?
so we're gonna
Yes.
probably switch up the teams or something and switch up the areas, or maybe, I don't know, unless we're gonna probably be going to
I have a question for Amy.
Yes.
So I always like to go to Amy because Amy is probably the most unshakable, most skeptical of everybody on the team. What are your general feelings that you're getting from the place?
You know what? The first night I was here, I felt like I saw something out of the corner of my eye in certain places. But I mean, it was never anything when I looked. It just felt like there was something just out of my sight.
Are you cold or do you just have goosebumps?
I'm chilly, it's chilly.
Okay.
But I think that I don't feel anything weird in any of the rooms. Like there's no heavy feeling for me here in the building. I feel like the robot thing was weird. I didn't like that, especially moving the planchette to the Ouija. Not my favorite, but
Wait till you guys see that.
but it could be, I mean, we don't really know. The robot.
Could you see it pretty good from your guys' angle?
We don't know, but we've tried to trigger it ourselves and we have to be right up on it to get it to move. So that's weird to me too, because we've tried to make it move farther when we're farther away, but it won't move.
Yeah, everything with the robot, we saw all of that. That was all clear as day. So super cool.
Planchette twisted it around. It was like had it up in the air as if it grabbed it.
But it was slow. It wasn't
Twisted
like
it
it's because it's usually jerky. It was just
Yeah.
like,
And it was twisting it
It
around
was like
and heading back
daunting.
towards the board.
I was like,
And
no.
I was like, what?
grab
Yeah.
that sucker by its noggin. I said, nope.
Really interesting, especially when it was on the floor. It's very jerky, but the floor is bumpy, so that could be why. But it just seemed to be like it was having some troubles, but then when it got on the table, it was like,
It was real
it knew
serious.
exactly what it was doing.
It just rolled right up,
Interesting.
pops up and it goes. To turn towards the
So-
board.
That's how I feel anyway. That was weird.
Interesting.
Okay, well, let's take it around the horn then. I think that's a good question that everybody would probably be getting interested in having answered. So let's go around to Rich. You're up next. What are your general feelings so far of the place?
A couple weird things. I'd have to watch the evidence that these two that you guys are talking about. But I don't have any feelings of that there's anything here outside of what we may have, if I didn't have the EVP that I got last night and some of the stuff we've heard today, I would come away saying that we don't have anything here. There's nothing that we're experiencing, but definitely nothing malicious, nothing heavy, nothing scary, I think you got to take into account just the history of the place and the fact of what we're doing inside of that tower that's been here for, forever, centuries. So, just that alone, and it's made out of stone that absorbs energy. And there's nothing saying that some of the stuff that we did catch, like, met myself and Rob and Jenny up in that room today with that moan that it sounded like, doesn't mean it's just a residual thing that happens all the time. Now, the one yesterday where it sounds like we got Gina's name, I can't say that would be residual, because to say her name is kind of weird, but the circumstances leading up to that, there was a lot of stuff going on, and she was down here saying she had stuff going on, and we were talking about her, and she was talking to us when it said her name. So interesting there. The dog thing strikes me as interesting because I didn't realize that there was some type of actual people had that happened to them or were experiencing something like that. Because yesterday we did get the word dog on the Ovilus. We did
And we
get
had that heavy breathing that we heard with our ears that we
That
thought
you
it
guys
was our,
had.
we thought it was our dogs at home. We were like half asleep,
Yep.
trying to wake up, and we're like, wait, did you hear that? And we could.
No,
hear
I
it.
was-
Interesting.
Yeah,
We-
oh,
we-
that's right.
We also got under chair. I mean, we got some of that stuff that on the
Oh,
surface.
you got
means-
under the chair?
Yeah, we did.
That's where the robot was
Upstairs.
going.
Yesterday we got that.
So-
on the
I know we were
chair.
saying.
On the surface, it doesn't mean anything, but after you sit down and you start putting all the pieces together of some of the stuff we found and some of the stuff that you researched, some of those make sense. But at the same time, I mean, is it just coincidence that we're getting that stuff? I don't know. Today seems to be a little bit less with the Ovilus of getting words. Yesterday seemed like it was spitting them out pretty regular. Today, not as much. So I don't know what to make of it. Do I think there's something here? I think there's probably some type of energy or something here. What it is, I don't know. Is there, are there ghosts here? I can't prove that. We don't have anything like that. We've got a couple of disembodied voices and some EVPs, but you know, all that does is tell us that there's some type of activity here. That's my personal opinion.
All right, Rob, how about you? Or Kaz is up next. Kaz, what do you got?
Hang on one second, we're picking something up.
Okay.
That way, right?
Yeah,
Coming for like.
yeah, everybody heard it.
Yeah, we heard some, like,
Furnace or something.
Mm.
We don't have a furnace, brother.
What is that?
there is no furnace.
That's a, okay.
Oh, it's a freezer.
Okay. We heard a condenser turn on.
I don't know if I answered your question or gave anybody the answer.
No, you did.
But I mean,
You did.
who knows? We might look at our evidence over the next course of the next few weeks or whatever, and actually get something that does pinpoint that. And I want to see the evidence that I want to see what they just experienced in the library. Just to see what my gut reaction is when I see it. If I go, yeah, that is kind of weird, or if I go, it could have just been
Have you played with your flare?
this or that. No, because it's hooked up to that iPad. So.
I mean, we also have, I think Rob said when you guys are coming down that, you know, we switch up the teams. We get in some rooms that you haven't been in, that we haven't seen you guys doing anything in, because if you get down in that library, you know, you might get something too.
I think that the group that I was with, we should definitely do the library next.
Yeah. I definitely think that you and Rob need to be in there for sure.
See if it does it again. That type, you know what I mean? Let's see if we can, because if
Right.
you can do it again, then you got two things. Either, yeah, there's something going on, or it's just a coincidence, and that's just what it's doing. It's going towards the nearest thing on the table. It's, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or take the Ouija board off the table altogether and just put the robot on the table with a pen and see if it
There you
has
go.
move it, you know, see what it does. You know, that's the type of thing that would either make me think there's more to it, or just say it's coincidence, or it's just circumstances, or whatever. I mean, those are the types of things we need to do to try to debunk what's happening. And if we can't, you know, then we like I said, we need to put all of our stuff together within the next few weeks of what we find, because we have so many hours to go over as a group.
Right.
Knows what we have that we don't know about. I mean, it's happened before, you know, but on the surface, yeah, I think there's some energy here. Not sure what it is.
All right, Kaz, what you got?
I don't know. Let me go upstairs. I don't know. It's just creepy what Amy and I saw, but I have a hard time with that robot. Like, I get the concept of the robot, but also, like, can it just do things on its own because it's a toy? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I can't explain the shadows on the wall.
And it doesn't show up in the camera.
It does,
It's a green
because
light.
it's the green light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't explain that. I mean, the only thing I could really think about is if that fly that we saw, but even so, it would have been a solid then, like something
Yeah,
going
it was
across,
more
and
like
this
a
was
ripple,
like,
water.
it was almost like, yeah, like someone's doing this
Mhm.
all over the place, but it wasn't solid either. It was
Yeah, we'll just have
it
to
would be
rewatch.
like if you had a hairdryer on and you're, you know what I mean, like
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So then we were thinking maybe it's the radiator, but if it's the radiator, it would be constant, or it would be more regular.
And I'm here to
It's
tell you,
kicking-
those radiators are not putting out that kind of heat.
Right,
No.
so that I can't explain, you know, as far as the heaviness. I feel heavy feelings up in the tower, but also that could be the mold and the fact that you get
Right.
when you're walking up all those stairs, so.
Yeah.
Mold.
Mold, the dampness, we won't plague them with saying that they're mold.
No, I don't.
But
Pretty clean.
the dampness
Yeah,
of
it
the
is.
tower is what I
Very
mean,
clean.
the dampness, so.
Yeah, like, you know, when it's cold and damp and just like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Like a basement.
But
Best
There you
basement.
go. Dank is the word.
investigative styles, so. It's been interesting to kind of just like silent a lot, you know.
Yeah.
We're trying to
All right.
I don't have a problem with that. So
You guys like each other too much.
Rob, what do you got? What are your feelings so far?
It hasn't been ferociously active, but when we first got here, before we set up, we took naps. We all had jet lag, and I got woke up at one point, and I am in a room not by the towers this way. Can you see me? Towers this way.
Yep.
Mine's over there. You guys' room right up above us, right? Gina and Kez's.
We're.
More that way, I guess.
yeah, both here.
More
Yeah,
that
we're about
way.
Here, you're.
We're over
yeah.
there, and I got woke up because there was a loud banging above us, which would be a family living room kind of, it's a very big open area. And I was like, what the hell are these guys doing up there? And I heard it again, like at least 2 more times. I have not gone back into the audio, but I don't
Are
believe
you
I was,
scared?
because I heard it the second and third time. But I should have it on a recorder.
Okay.
So that was interesting because nobody else seemed to have heard it, and nobody claims to have been making noise. Outside of that, I mean, we picked up a couple of the weird audio things that can't really identify at this time. And there was a point yesterday when we were up in Sabina's room that the K2 was lighting up all the way, but turned out to be from the radios, but it would stay on. It would only come on if Rich called down to Gina, but if Gina called up, it was fine. But it stayed lit up, so we were all excited, but there was a lot of like, it got, the Ovilus was spitting out words left and right. That thing was going crazy, but we debunked it as probably being part of the radio. It was just like, I don't know if I was getting excited, but there were chills. Jenny was getting chills, and it was just kind of electric in there for a couple of minutes. And
But we did get a lot of quote,
Oh,
orbs at that time.
yes,
that we
Gina
need
was
to go
saying there were
back and get
orbs.
And
and-
the,
Okay. In Sabina's room?
Yeah, and that was last
Interesting.
night. I mean, the night is young and
Yeah.
there's a lot more to do, but at this time, is this place, like, I haven't seen anything yet, and supposedly Sabina likes to show herself.
maybe you're not.
What
Rob-
is behind Rob's arm? Rob, move your left arm. Go all the way back.
What's
Can you
that?
go move? Turn so your back is flat more. Okay.
And eating
What's
pop.
over there? Oh, it's Jenny moving. Okay. I didn't know Jenny was back there, and I kept seeing something float by your shoulder, and it was freaking me out.
This is the.
You couldn't see that it was your whole hand. It was just like this little piece of it that would come up, and it was very odd.
Jenny?
Okay, debunked.
No, I already explained.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So I guess that just leaves Gina. I was leaving you for last on purpose. So what are your feelings?
So hang on one second. Let me just exit out, get into the right thing. So yesterday when we got here, we all decided to take a nap because we were exhausted. And so we had slept for a little bit. Kez got up, was opening the curtains. So that's when I was waking up half asleep. And so I thought I heard a sound that was our dogs. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, the dogs are up here because it's like a kind of like a inhale, exhale type thing. And I was like, did you, and then I realized where I was at and I was like, wait, did you just make that noise? And Kez was like, no, I thought you made that noise. So we both heard it and thought the other person had done it. But in my sleepiness for a second, I thought it was our dogs, but that it sounded like almost like an animal type noise. There are a lot of stuffed animals here, not teddy bears, like we're talking taxidermy.
Yes, there you go, taxidermy.
There's many different animals here on the wall, and there's lots of statues of dogs, which I forgot to ask the host kind of what the story is behind those.
That's interesting too.
So yeah, there's lots of iron statues of dogs on the property, and deer and children. So there's just, we'll take some pictures and post it. There's a lot, and a horse. So there's lots of them. And then the tower, I could only get up part of the tower because of the stairway with my feet, but the part that with my foot being hurt. But the part that I got up to was just very heavy. I almost felt like I couldn't breathe. It just felt off, you know?
Okay.
And, so we came back downstairs. I'm like, I just don't like how I feel in here. Let's get back downstairs. But apart from that, I the host and there's the host and then the host's daughter who also helps here. She's the one that cooked us a lovely meal. Her name's Steph, and Jackie is the host, which if they watch this, first of all, let me plug, this place is phenomenal and was worth every penny of staying here. So if you are ever in Ireland and you want to stay at an amazing castle, amazing place, this is perfection. You can hire them to make breakfast and dinner, which we had a 3-course Irish meal tonight. So it was fantastic. But anyway, I had to put in that little bit of plug. But they had just said that the people that had talked to them had reported the spirits are friendly. A couple of people that we talked to tonight that helped us with dinner had said, Cece said that she sometimes feels a little weird right in the tower. Was that Cece that said that?
You said she heard the cannonballs rolling on the.
No, that was actually Steph. So yeah. So one of them there, I guess there's a cannonball on the top of the tower above Sabine. It's on the roof of the place which you can't get to. And so sometimes people would say they would hear something rolling on top.
Mhm.
There was a cannonball up there. And so Steph said she had never heard it, but there was no wind, no nothing. And she heard she heard something rolling on the roof. So that was kind of interesting. So, but everything seems friendly. Nobody's ever been afraid when they've been here, when they've worked here. I don't know. It'd be interesting. There's some people that leave reviews that say they had a feeling of things being around, and others that said nothing spooky, but just lots of fun. But this is definitely a place full of history. I actually wish we had more days than what we had here, because there is so much to check out. So, but I think there's a lot of history moving around here, and I think it's just got to decide if it's going to show itself. So that's
Sounds good. Are we would love to see Rich, Rob, and Jenny in the library with that robot and try to do some of that debunking that Rich was talking about.
All right, so give us a few minutes to get set back up. I'm gonna move the computer back to base camp where I was at. So if everybody could give us about 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe.
Awesome.
I don't know if you have something you can kind of fill people in on, or talk to them about. You can do a song and dance, Rob said. But for those that are watching, right now we have people steadily watching, so I'm not sure if you're able to see on your end how many viewers there are or anything. I'm actually going to make you a host.
Okay. Ooh.
Co-host, because I think that you might be able to see things a little bit better. But at any point, at any rate, we're going to let you kind of take over for about 10 minutes here so that we can back up. Okay.
Sounds good.
You.
Hurry back.
Well.
So, all right, you guys who have been sticking with us, we'll take a little break here. The gang is going to go get a little refresh. For anybody else who's just jumping on now, the gang is going to take a little break for 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to come back and we're going to split back up into some new groups, possibly. Maybe check out some other rooms. I think first we want to get Rich, Rob, and Jenny into that library, because Rich was talking about trying to debunk some stuff with the robot, which I know I would love to see, because that was super interesting. That was interesting because we couldn't get that type of motion out of it by a human being, but then we were getting as much activity once they set it back down and start asking their questions. So this will be fun to be able to get those guys in there and really go to town on trying to debunk what was happening with that robot. That should be super exciting. We also have the EVPs that were up in the Baron's room that we're gonna have to go back and look through. Sounds like moaning. I said it a little bit earlier that the interesting thing with some of the experiences, personal experiences that the gang is having are pretty consistent with what other people have experienced at Ross Castle, with a lot of moaning sounds, banging, a lot of orb activity. So right now we're pretty on point with what a lot of the general experiences that people have. It seems like the gang is kind of getting all of that just from what we've seen so far. We're going to try to get some of that stuff cut and up on we're going to try to get some of that stuff cut and put up onto Facebook so you guys can take a look at it. I said a little bit earlier for people who weren't here, the first night Rich sent out a quick EVP that he picked up last night during their investigation. We had what sounded like somebody saying Gina, and Rich asking a question if anybody had any pets who lived there. And as he's asking the question, when he gets to the end of it, you can hear a very breathy no. So that's something that, again, we're going to have to go back and look at. Really, really kind of neat that they are getting some tangible things last night and tonight. And this part is really only one half of what the investigation is. The other half, the part that is very labor intensive and that you have to be on your A game, is when you start reviewing all of this evidence and reviewing all the film and all the audio. Because it's one thing to debunk things while you're there. It's something else to go back through and be listening to a piece of audio and listening to it in its complete length and getting context off of sounds that maybe, as we said earlier in the library with Amy and Kez, when Gina and I heard an audible sound that sounded like it could have been a dog, it could have been the servos in the robot, but that's not what we were hearing with the rest of the activity that was happening. So things like that, when you get into evidence review, is when you're really going to be able to focus on a voice recorder in that room and try to pick up all of those sounds that the robot is making. So later on, if you hear the sound that Gina and I did, you can kind of place it that maybe it was the robot was a little bit closer to the voice recorder at that exact moment. And that's why we were hearing that sound louder than you were the rest of the time. So evidence review becomes super important. But it's also great that while they're there in the field, we can see some of this stuff live and we can go through and try to debunk things real time, because that does save you on the back end when we're going through evidence review. If we can figure out what was going on with that robot now, that's one less thing we have to worry about later, and we're able to focus more on the audio and the video in that room. And we still have some other areas that we can still try to get some of the people, some of our gang into. I think so far this has been going really well. I love being able to be part of this investigation, even though I'm still back here in the States and not with the gang. It's very cool to be able to be part of it like this. Thanks everybody for watching. this is a really neat experience that the Realm Paranormal Podcast and the TRPD, this is something new for us to be able to do, but this is definitely something going forward with some of our investigations that maybe this is something we can think about doing going forward, especially because some investigations we don't need a full team there. Some investigations, some people can't make it. And this would be a really cool way to get all of you guys engaged and involved in our investigations and being honorary members of the team. And also for the members of the team that can't be there for whatever reason, or, you know, like I said, if we're at a smaller location and we need a smaller team, we could have somebody else back home leading one of these and getting everybody involved. I think that's a super cool idea going forward.
Is it working? Is it still
Okay,
on?
so they're getting ready to go in there. I'm gonna give them the robot. Just give them
Okay.
instructions. We'll be going here in just a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna mute you for a moment.
Okay. So I think right now Gina is explaining to them what you would have to do to get this robot to act in a different way. Prior to this, they didn't know what you had to do in order to get the robot to act in a different mode. There's a different mode that goes on this robot that you can turn it on in a mode where if you tap it a certain way, it'll do certain things. Gina did not have that mode engaged when they were in there, and cousin Amy did not know that that's something that the robot can do. That they were intentionally, Gina didn't want anybody to know those things that could happen for moments like this, that they see something happening and we can rule out that they didn't do it knowingly because they had no idea that that was a possibility.
Okay, so we're just getting set up. We're making sure that Kez has a walkie this time because they're gonna be.
Okay.
The only way that we have to communicate is through them. So.
Wait,
Well-
can you broke up? Where is Kez going?
Kez and Amy are gonna go to the O'Reilly room, which is the
Okay.
first. We started with the night with Rich, Amy, or with Rich, Jenny, and Rob. So we're gonna
Okay,
send
perfect.
Rob in the library with the robot to
With
see.
the-
if
Okay.
they-
With the axe.
With, we'll see what happens. But maybe they could
Oh,
put
this
the
is-
Ouija board. Hey, if you want to recreate that, maybe you
Rob.
guys,
What?
because for Rich,
Oh,
and Rob, and
I'm
Jenny.
gonna have yours, look at.
Maybe if you guys want to see if we recreate, if it wants to do something with the Ouija board, you could put the Ouija board and planchette on the ground and see, like, show them how
I don't
close it
think
was
Rich
together.
wants to mess with it at all.
Oh, okay, no problem. Okay, that's okay.
I'm not a fan of the Ouija board.
No, me neither.
Okay, but can we have Rich move the Ouija board off of the table and kind of do what he was saying and put a different object on the table and see what the robot does and see if it does anything?
Yeah, he's gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna get started here. You guys will have to close the door in there.
Gina, can you please tell Rich that I have a question for him and you have to say it just like this. What are you, afraid?
Hey, Rich,
Yeah.
Brian has a question for you. What, are you afraid?
What?
He said, what, are you afraid?
No, but on a side note, I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go visit the Olympic Museum tomorrow. Or
Hey.
wait a minute, that's Titanic. Sorry,
Oh. Nice.
I had to plug that a little bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was a good one.
Let you know if there's anything fishy going on there too.
Okay.
Don't. Shh. All right, make sure you guys close that door. And as you can see, I'm gonna blow this up here really quick. Turn the sound on. Right here, see now the door is slid open, so now they're going into the secret cubby here.
Oh, that's so cool.
They are going up the steps, so now they're closing it. See that?
That's really cool.
I'm moving that out there, that's safe. I don't know if that's not gonna work well. Okay, well, I thought it was.
I was trying to find a way to isolate and pin the screen so that on YouTube, you're not seeing all three of our screens, but unfortunately working. So hopefully people are able to see this. If anybody's on YouTube, well, I know actually I can see people are on YouTube. If you guys are able to like leave comments and just let us know if you're able to see this investigation screen. Okay,
It
here,
looks good on my end, so
I'm gonna quiet down now because they're with
Yep.
the.
Way over there, trying to go to the Ouija board.
The Ouija board is right here.
Yeah, I know, why do you keep going backwards? You're not trying to go forward.
I don't know. I thought he came towards sound. Yeah, but in the library. With the robot. And, a Ouija board and some other interesting stuff.
What they're doing is they are marking their audio equipment that they just started up.
On the back of the table. The Ouija board was not on the table, out of the Ouija board was in the middle of the
Can you hear
table.
that okay, Brian?
It approaches and it stopped, and then it backed up.
yes.
Thank you, Adrian, for letting us know.
So I guess we're looking to see if anybody is here with us. Amy and Kaz were just in here. Apparently they had somebody in here with them. We were hoping that they would be in here with us as well. There's a door over there. Can we shut it? It is shut. Cause it's loud. I can hear the TV.
Yeah, I got it closed as far as I can close it.
It is close.
It's closed. It won't.
So we would like to recreate what was going on or try and debunk it.
No, you want to back off the table.
Let's go on the floor and see what happens.
All right, let's put them on the floor, let's see it on the floor, and then let's move this off the table. Keep it down, do that. Okay, now, what was you doing before, when you go under the chair, they said?
Well, he was also kind of, they were asking if they wanted them to leave. If they wanted them to stay, go to the stairs that went up the tower. If they wanted them to leave, go towards the bathroom, go where the bathroom is. And the robot was trying to exit that way.
Hey, Rob,
they
would
want
you
to
be able
see.
to move to a different place?
Yes, everyone here.
I don't think they have their walkie on, so I'm gonna go ask Rob to move. I'll be right back.
We know you can do it. You thought it.
Nothing for us, did you spin around, or? I guess the going thing is.
Um.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
So I guess,
Come on up, buddy.
they want us to
Kaz, where's
stay.
you, where's you or Amy calling me?
You could move towards the door that could be, towards the foyer, or would
Yes,
you like us to stay and hang out? You can move towards the door that goes up to the tower where Amy and Kaz just went. What do you think? Do you want us to stay and hang out here, or do you want us to leave? I'll let you go over towards the lobby city. Damn, you need a square, you need a square.
I really dislike the Ouija board, but apparently you've got some interest in a Ouija board, is that true? I will pick up the Ouija board and put it down on the ground. No, okay, good.
Well, he's happy, he's like, oh, give me that.
Okay, so here's the Ouija board. Why don't you come up to that?
Would you like us to use, oh, no.
Oh, well, don't scare me.
Too late. You're scared of that.
Where are you going?
Who's the big boy for Joey Lawrence? He keeps going, whoa.
Oh,
You know that.
oh, we went right,
Face plant, face plant.
went right for the door though.
Well, yeah, he went right to the door. Maybe he just likes the girl, or maybe he likes,
Upstairs, you prefer Kaz and Amy, or you want to hang out with us?
we're going upstairs for him.
Want us to stay, I'm guessing, if you went by the tower door.
So right now, we're not gonna be able to see the robot, just obviously, because it's out of frame, but they're gonna do their best to move it back in frame.
Backing up.
Maybe it's not the Ouija board. That's all, it's not the Ouija board.
So, if there's anybody new that's joined, I'm trying to like bounce back and forth between several platforms, so I apologize, it's hard to keep track. But for those of you just joining, Rob, Jenny, and Rich are in the library where Amy and Kez were earlier to try to see if they could get the robot that we have. We have our own paranormal robot, to see if the robot will kind of behave the same way as it did with
Go close to that. And go up
Kez
like,
and Amy. So if you missed it, don't worry, you're gonna be able to watch this video over again. It's gonna archive. Right now it's live, but you're gonna be able, you might be able to go back and watch it, but you'll definitely be able to watch it after the live has ended. I do have the comments going.
Yeah. What if
Okay, Gino, I think you might have just explained what was going on. I had a dog that I had to attend to.
That's okay.
What did I miss? What was going on here?
Nothing's really going on right now. They are just trying to recreate everything. So I think they are having the same experience with something. Okay. Let me catch up. I'm talking so many different things. They just experienced the same thing Amy and Jenny did, where they saw or where Amy and Kez had seen a shadow or a manipulation of the light that was on the wall. So
Okay.
Rick reached up and touched the chandelier to see if that would cause it, even though the chandelier wasn't moving. And so then they just asked spirit, if there's a spirit there that's causing the disruption in light. So that's something we're gonna have to look into a little
Okay.
further to try to debunk. So you really haven't missed anything other than me telling them where the robot has to be for us to be able to see it. Adrian asked a question in the chat on YouTube, said the light in Gina was turning off and on when you stepped away with someone else doing that. So actually, Adrienne, in the room that I'm in, they have a light that is motion censored. It's a security motion censored light. You can see the robot moving around now. So anyway, the light will just keep flashing on and off, so you'll be able to see that. I should have explained that earlier. I'm used to it, so sometimes if you move a certain way, it'll come on.
Were they able to debunk anything with the robot yet?
No, they haven't been able to. It's really kind of been dumping over a lot for them. It's not
Okay.
even being upright very well for them.
So they're not getting a lot of the same stuff that Kez and Amy were with it zipping around.
No. It's moved around, but I told them where it needed to be to kind of
Okay.
be able to be seen by the camera, but
Yeah, because last time it was like in perfect view for us.
I'm gonna go back in and ask them if they can move it again. So I'll be right back.
It doesn't do a lot, and we were supposed to come towards sound and voices. I also don't really hear you guys very well through this.
It's weird that when he was on the table, he didn't want to do anything on the table and back off.
Yeah.
Look at the keyboard action group. Yeah, so I'm gonna see if we get the robot to get towards it again. So if there's someone here with us, can you tell us your name? Are you leaving that toy around?
What
to
I'm
follow
hoping
you
is like
around?
maybe they'll throw on a spirit box session too while this is going on.
Asked you to move towards the Ouija board before it, and you did it. Can you move back?
Are
towards
you
that
able to hear
board?
them okay?
Yes.
Adrian was all excited with the light flashing on and off thinking.
Yeah.
I know, it would be exciting, Adrian.
Can you approach that board again?
So again, it's interesting that we can't get the same activity out of that robot now with these guys in there.
Right. It'll like waver back and forth to move, and that's to keep its balance because it's,
Mhm.
it's top heavy. It'll go down, it'll fall down. So it's just balancing on these two wheels.
Okay, well. We'll put this back up on the table when you think about that.
You're like a child.
Well, we know that the one. Did you go to COVID? Doesn't look like you do much anything for us.
I'm gonna walk over here by this door. You can follow me if you want to.
That's what it's supposed to do, but now it's coming. Oh, there we go.
Whoop.
Whoa.
Anybody here with us in this room? If you go upstairs with, Amy and Kaz.
We'll check in with Amy and Kes shortly.
Just as quiet as it's been. Okay.
Mhm. Now it's getting exciting. Look at it, it's coming. He said, you want to play the Ouija board with me? And it revved up and came right towards the table.
Now, like I was explaining earlier, Gina, that sound that, oh, look at it go now. The sound that you and I heard earlier that we wrote down, I was explaining a little bit earlier that going back in evidence review with this voice recorder in this room, you'll be able to go back and you'll be able to really try to hear that robot and see if maybe we just caught something, if it was closer to the recorder or something like that, or if it really did stand out from the rest of the sound in the room.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, they did give them the option that if they wanted the cousin A to come back down, they would go towards the board and went towards the board. It took it a couple tries, but I mean, it's not precision instruments. So we basically lied to it. How do we rectify that? Just reason with them. Reason with them. Would you like to use the Ouija board? If you'd like to use the Ouija board with me, come over here to me. Come to me, robotic toy.
Oh,
Oh, shit.
There you go.
that's what we want.
He's like, "Yeah."
You know.
He's going to the
like,
door.
"Man, how do we control this thing?"
Did you see it pivot to take its,
You know, use the one, go back. Come on.
it turned around and
Oh.
came down.
Coming back.
Holy crap.
Trying to get his steps in. Kind of taking a long way on to get you. There he goes.
It's like, yes, I want to play the Ouija
Here we
board.
go.
It's,
Yep, guess you threw himself on the floor that time. Come on. The other child, come to me. The Ouija board, cut. So we believe there was somebody else in here before with Kaz and with Amy, and they had some interaction. We would really like to have some of that as well. We will be here the rest of the night, and I'm sure you've been kind of used to us being here the last 24 hours or so. You just show us that you're here, we'll prove that you're here. I mean, you're almost to the Ouija board if you want to do it. All I gotta do is go this way. Come, look towards Rob. Come on. That means just still swinging from where I pushed it.
yes,
I command
he
the.
can't hear me, but it is still swinging.
Oh,
Rob, I wasn't one that pushed on that light. I barely did it.
Oh, it went towards the spiral staircase towards Jenny, and now Jenny's,
Okay.
remember when Kez and Amy was trying to tell it to go upstairs?
Yes.
I know that you're probably not in the camera.
Well, you know, put them back.
Have to put you back over there.
Just know that he was probably go up the steps.
Yeah.
We could be given the option of us leaving, or which we kind of did. And then went towards that door, asked them if they wanted to use the Ouija board. And he came towards the Ouija board. They gave him the second option, he came this way, but then he took off towards Jenny and towards that door. So what does that tell us? He wants to go by the Ouija.
Maybe they should take it upstairs.
Worth a try.
Here that wants to hang out with Amy and Kez, which they should probably be able to go do themselves. Or maybe they just can't go through doors like Casper, Make the robot, that toy, go towards the door with, that goes up the tower if you wanna Kazanin to come back down.
The light up, the robot is actually doing that. You have the ability to do that.
So the robot went to the K2 and
Okay.
it, like it's making the K2 go off. So I don't know if it was from the motion of it bumping it that
Right.
you can light up it even with if it's like, you know, struck or hit or something.
Hmm.
See, now they're thinking the way we did. Rob's testing it to see if the flashlight would,
Yes. Yep.
no, which is trying it. It's funny how we all think alike.
Exactly.
Table again?
Yeah, let's do that, let's do that.
Let's start, you can turn it back off the table over.
Now- Let's see. here. See what happens.
What do you think, goes to the robot? Yeah. That's it. Turn around, you go towards
He
the,
tells Jenny, you're in the way again.
Want us to stay and play with the Ouija board, move towards the Ouija board. If you want us to leave, go jump off the end of the table.
Be ready to catch it because it did.
Yeah, Rob always cuts to the core of the apple with this.
Seem pretty indecisive.
So Rich is putting his light through the chandelier glass, I think, to see if
Mhm.
it relates the wall, like what they saw earlier.
Yes.
Billy,
Whoop.
giant five, or so-called giant six, some kids.
We want to, and that the one where he wanted us to leave, he jumped off the table. Even though he did go towards the Ouija board first,
He was coming to the edge of the table.
we went to both, so you had your option of having us leave and going off this side of the table, or having us play with the Ouija board. I'll give you that one more time. What would you like? I was moving my hand around it to see if I could manipulate it, so maybe that's why I moved.
See, they don't know how to use it, so.
I was
That's the,
explaining that to everybody that they don't know all the ins and outs with that robot intentionally.
and yeah, because it's good because then they can't
Right.
have interfered with the motion of the robot at all.
Tough time.
Oh,
See, like,
No,
going crazy.
no.
Oh,
Where you go was that go to the Ouija board.
okay, there it goes. Let's see if it does the same thing.
Move the plan shift back to the Ouija board like you did before.
I will shit my pants if it does it again, honestly. Give it a chance. Let's see what happens.
Run, good on the board.
So he's gonna put the ovulus at the end of the ta- oh, there he goes. There he goes.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't see any pattern here, I don't see any, rhyme or reason what he's doing, it's just kinda moving around and bumping into things. If there's something in front of him, he hits it and.
Did you hear that sound, Gina?
I don't know if it was the robot.
What was it type?
Oh, no.
What did it say?
I don't like it.
No.
Oh, oh, they're talking, they're arguing that we're talking about doing the Ouija board.
Okay.
Not arguing, but I mean,
I mean, we did try to manipulate it with the Ouija board.
No, maybe that was so bad.
To really force it, make it do something, I don't like me, pretty sure Kevin's going
That's the one.
to. I don't think they're gonna mess with that robot though. They're not gonna mess with that robot. I'm gonna make the citizen here lift them.
you want me to check in with Kez and Amy really
Yeah,
quick?
let's go see what's going on with Kez and Amy. Because
Right.
are they up in Sabine's room or the Slashers room?
I actually don't know which one they ended up going, so let's see here.
I think they're in O'Reilly's room.
Every time that I just hear the O'Reilly's Auto Parts song going on.
Every time.
Okay, no, they are actually in Sabina's room.
Okay.
I will let them know that.
Oh.
Just letting you guys know that we are live with you in Sabina's room. Oh gosh, now something like, I think there's something going on with the robot right now, but.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's okay. We'll be collecting evidence and showing you guys.
Feel. So we would appreciate it if you could just let us know that you're here.
I bet you something crazy happens with the robot now that we chose to like go.
Probably. Yep. Probably.
I'm gonna check, ask them if they had anything going on up there. Have you guys had anything going on up there? Oh, they just got there.
Okay.
Well, you go down in the hearing room. Yeah, and I felt very anxious and like a lot of energy, but nothing happened. That was me.
I gotta go back to them. I think there's something going
Okay.
on.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back in there. I can hear a alert going off. So
Okay.
I could hear an alarm through the door, but
You're probably-
look at the
Whoa,
camera.
what's going on here?
What is going on with the camera?
What did they flash something or do something in the room?
Oh, it's one thing.
I don't know, maybe.
The goal, sleepy board for goal.
It looked like the lights came on
Right.
and then the IR went completely off. And then back.
I'm wondering, but even if he shines the flashlight at the thing, it shouldn't have done that. we're gonna have to timestamp that 1943 camera 6.
Camera 6, 1943.
It'll be
That's a
before
high score on pole position.
40.
1943.
Yeah, and then just right next to it, put, just before that camera went black.
Yep, okay.
And we'll turn on.
Thank you.
Yep.
One person. We don't even recommend two people doing this, but this thing does really move very well. And they don't really seem to have too much activity or anything with this. It's not ours, it was already here. We would never bring one with us. Definitely not on a plane. Went down on the plane.
Did you hear that? They said they definitely wouldn't bring a Ouija board with them, and Rich said, not on a plane.
No, Rich around. I can't remember. I don't have a lot of experience with flying Ouija board. I didn't know how to grow it. They said I would chase it. I might not look like I'm very nimble, but I can move. Spiders on Ouija boards.
Spiders and Ouija boards, Rich is suddenly nimble.
Well, I'm not convinced that there is a spirit.
Oh, Jenny's starting to taunt.
Making.
Good.
Well, it's nice to break up the group, because somebody like me, I might be like a spirit cock blocker, right? So. Whoa, wait, that little bad guy here, hold on, you're right.
Oh, bad guy here.
Rich is writing it down.
Yes.
You can get on my shirt, yeah, Rob's shirt. We afraid, and then on that you say.
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh, you don't like
Whoa.
it? Winner, right?
Oh, it's coming right to Rich.
Get you currently. Oh, right there. Don't think what you say, it's like you have a little bit of issue with the carpet.
I'm glad we made it back here for Spirit Cup.
Yes.
And those floors aren't bumpy like this castle floor. Yeah. So it probably works better than.
Yeah, the floor is all stone and it's very uneven.
Right. Okay.
We could get those, when they were done with the room they're currently in, if they could come down here and see if we can, have some fun.
Okay, I'll call them. Oh, he can't hear me. He's gonna come ask.
Yep. Interesting.
I don't wanna be the cooler. Oh, what do you talk about? Cat blocker. I don't know that way.
Do you want me to call them down to be with you guys?
See up there, what do you see?
Let's go see what they're doing here. Let me turn off the sound on this one. Let's go back here. And let's go back up here to them.
There's a ghostly shadow behind Kaz, or behind Gina.
Ooh. They had just gotten up there, right before your spirit.
Ask him how it's going.
Wait, what's cause, hold on. 1 second, I'll ask him in a minute.
You know, hands, finger.
Did you guys want to maybe, what room has the most room where you guys can spread out and we could see the floor? I'm trying to think. That maybe you could all take the robot in there.
Right here? No, you can't,
Yeah.
even when you're looking at that picture. We the floor has not been a target because we did not consider the robot.
Yeah, we weren't thinking about the hallway, but it's really hard for you guys to like fit in the hallway. Just trying to see.
What do you think? Should we go up there by them and then try and lure them down after?
Yeah, and you can take the robot with you and put it in the floor. Look at the floor
Well,
space.
We would have to adjust the camera.
Yeah, or this is the top of the steps right here, because I haven't been up to that top of the
Yeah.
tower because I can't get up there.
Piggyback?
I don't think we'd make it. If there's something you can put like to block this right here, so maybe put
We can
like
shut
the
the door.
towels. Well, we could use the hallway as space so that we could see if it would walk.
Well,
What's this right here? That brown thing on the.
I mean, there's.
What is like that the camera's
it's
sitting on?
More open up, more open.
No, I'm, what's this right here?
Oh, God.
Oh. I'll get it. But what is,
That's on a table. There's not a chair there, there's the bed there.
I'm just trying to, it's a table right there, you said?
Yeah, but there's nothing in the middle of the floor, we can move the camera.
And there's room for you guys to all be up there?
What's that?
And there's room for you guys to all be up there?
We could probably get up there, I'm sure.
Okay.
Somebody's in the hallway, two on the bed, with
Okay,
the bed over on the side.
okay. All right, I'll let them know you're coming up. Okay, so the plan is they're all gonna go up, take the robot upstairs, they're gonna adjust the camera. So we'll use it'll be a good for the people that are watching, you'll see how we do camera adjustments whenever we're setting up. Hey, Rob. You can keep that door open.
Like scared?
No, it's just easier
You
for me.
scared?
Yeah, I'm scared, but it's easier if you keep the door open, because then the heat can get through. I'm freezing over here, so when that door is shut, it
Okay,
gets.
it's
colder.
that we can, even with the door shut,
Mhm.
we can hear the echo from.
All the way upstairs?
No, while we're upstairs.
Yeah, well, whenever you go upstairs, leave the door open. You think so?
She would love that.
Huh. Are you guys going upstairs? Okay. Hey, guys, just letting you know that they're coming upstairs with the Robit. I said Robit. With the
Robert.
I say, what time is it right now here? It's about 25 till, so we'll do about 20 more minutes of this live and
Okay,
then do 5 minutes, see if anybody's got any questions, and we can sign off. It's about 12:34 in the morning here, so.
just past the witching hour.
Right. Hey, guys, just letting you know that we're gonna do this live for about another 20 minutes. Yeah, Kez has that up really loud. What'd you say? I don't know. Oh gosh, Kez is gonna scare them. Kez is gonna scare them with the door. Don't do that. Oh gosh, they're right there at the top.
Rather than the robot. She needs it.
They don't even notice. They don't
No,
even notice. It's totally lost.
Not really, kinda. Not enough.
Just letting Rob, Jenny, and Rich know that we'll do 20 minutes, then have everybody come down so that we can close out the live.
I'll have everybody come down and say goodbye to everybody that's watching and see if anybody has any questions.
Sounds good.
Oh, there we go. Good job, Rob. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Perfect.
Yes, that looks good. Is that a cat ball next to it?
That's great.
Okay. All right. So for those of you watching, we have a cat ball on the floor. That's to the right of the robot. I think it's following Rob. Rob, I think it followed you because of motion.
It did take a kind of a roundabout way towards the tower door. We did ask you if they wanted to go to the Ouija board. And it did make a roundabout way to the Ouija board a couple times, but it also is very roundabout. So I just bring up what I brought them up. Here. Our robot, Rob, Chad, Kaz, Amy, and Rich. Up in Sabina's room with the robot. You shouldn't, because it's. Why don't you guys do the talking since you were able to activate it?
So if you want that, you can walk in front of the robot and let it know it'll follow you. It's super cute.
You couldn't have to.
You like walk in front of it, you can make it move. I'm not sure if that would be down in the library area.
I just want to give a shout out to Missy that's watching. One of my besties, Missy, also sending me some of these timestamps. Thank you so much. You're great. Love you. Love all my friends watching. Now see how the robot's just going crazy. Whenever Brian comes back, we'll have to let him know. Like now all of a sudden we got lots of action. Has just told it to go get it. We'll see what it does.
Back here again? You wanna not come by me and freak me out?
Can everybody that's watching hear this? If anybody, well, to whoever is watching on YouTube, are you able to comment in the comments and let me know if you can hear the TV okay? They're getting tons of movement. Brian,
Yeah.
pick it upstairs around Amy and Kez. They're getting tons of movement.
So is that what I missed?
Yeah, that's all you've missed.
Okay.
Towards Amy. Do you know which one Amy is? Which one of us is Amy? Can you move it towards her, please? That'd be fantastic. What about Kaz? You seem to like to go over my Kaz. Can
Can you hear that
towards
TV
towards
okay,
Kaz?
Brian?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear them pretty clear.
Okay, great. It's coming to Amy. Amy's asking it to come by her.
Okay, our board says.
Now go by Kez. Let's see if it works.
The robot really seems to like Kez and Amy.
Might be sick of us up here, maybe you should try one Jenny over there.
I'll go downstairs and eat a salad if you move that towards Jenny.
Actually, Rob's just hungry, so he's trying to give me an excuse to go down and eat. I mean, we jumped up from dinner and went right into investigating, so we really haven't had a break.
Can you point in my direction?
I'm spiritual, I don't climb up all the stairs either.
Would you guys be able to do a spirit box session while this is going on? Oh,
Oh, here it comes.
Oh, no, well, the nose goes.
Go to Jenny.
So what was that sound, the robot?
mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
It's almost, you know, it's almost like it's an animal, you know what I mean? Fucking around with it.
You don't bring the dog, the ghost dog.
I mean, it keeps just going.
Oh, I don't know what a polecat is. A polecat is a weasel.
Yeah, like the creepy eagle, on the shore.
Yeah.
Alright, go to Jenny, if you can hear.
And make her have to go get the spirit box.
Oh, I don't want.
And me,
Yeah. Those are a lot of stairs. Not to mention that trip.
we should have hooked up
What do you
a
wanna do?
bucket relay system. No.
Right, like a laundry chute.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
Then real, because I've tried it several times to do things, so. Yeah, it's just, but I mean,
I'm sure Gina can bring it to us.
Oh.
man, try to.
ah, they got Joe.
The thought doesn't really that.
I didn't know they left it downstairs. I didn't know you guys had it down here. Don't worry about it.
Jenny, turn around,
Let's bring you the K2
now. Now,
Yeah.
now. Go bring that to.
Let's get so freaked out.
You shut the door, trap us all in here.
If it goes down those steps, that will not be good.
No.
They trying to leave. Are you gonna go get the, oh, are you going to go get the?
Adrian said she cannot hear the TV much at all.
Who said that?
Adrian said that.
Okay,
Oh, we gotta just put the door open.
let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Why?
Is that better? Is that better?
She's giving hearts on the screen now, so I'm guessing that means yes.
It turned red for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we looked at the instructions, it's like possessed by demon.
Oh my God. But it didn't turn red for us, but the music turned on.
Oh, it dance for us. Dance. Dance, rummy.
We need to be more considerate. Sorry.
We are, I am.
What is your name?
Look at Rob doing the robot.
That's the worst robot ever.
Familiar with the robot?
Okay, Adrian said, yeah, she can hear it better now.
Okay.
Thank you, Adrian.
Run the ball instead. Okay, robot.
Check these out. I feel like they're,
They went out.
everybody actually has to do that. Yep.
Black. The guy on black right here, do you know you?
I know I want to.
Consideration is black.
Well, now it's working, I can actually hear.
What's your dog's name?
Now, last night, the cat ball was going off in that room a little bit.
Okay.
The ball.
What room did Rich get those EVPs in last night?
Yeah, you got it here.
You know what? I'll have to
Get over
ask him
that
because I
ledge.
don't know.
There you go, good job. To the ball, another quarter going, going.
Hey,
Recorder.
The ball. It's a ball.
Yes, sir.
Policeman.
Again, yeah.
They got policeman again,
again.
just now.
The ball. No.
That's the policeman.
Even asked it to bring you.
No. It'll become both feet on my feet. Do you like Pez? Are you trying to get Pez's attention? Go get the ball.
We're talking to a puppy.
Go get the ball. Consideration.
Right, but that's also, we're talking to the robot like it's the best.
All right, so I'm holding on to the K2 meter that you keep trying to bring to me. So are you gonna use it? You gonna come light it up while it's in my hand?
Now, so everybody watching knows also, just because we're doing a lot with the robot right now, that doesn't mean that we're taking just what we're experiencing with the robot. All of that tries to get debunked as much as we can, but also because we have voice recorders and things going, there could be a lot of things that we're not picking up right now because we can't hear it. So we may be getting some EVP hits during a lot of these things that may make things make more sense.
Additionally, there could be things happening on the video that we're not,
Right.
we're focusing on something else in the video, but there could be a slight movement in the bathroom that we wouldn't have caught because we're paying attention to the robot. So
Exactly.
over the video, when we go over evidence, it's painstaking. Just this weekend alone will take us months to get through. 7 cameras, 6 recorders, 5 body cams. So
And a partridge in a pear tree.
exactly.
What was that? Did that say something? Out. All right. Get it.
Give you guys a 5-minute warning.
That made you too.
Move all right.
Okay. 5 minutes.
So everybody that's watching, we're gonna have the team come down in 5 minutes. If there's any questions, they'd be happy to answer them. But also just so that we can collectively say thank you, give you some more information and let you know what we have coming up because we are not done investigating. We still have the Loch Ness that we will be going to this week. As well as plenty of ancient places. We're going to an ancient burial ground. We'll tell you all about it in a few minutes.
You guys like walking out of the bus around.
Why is it going backwards?
Oh my God,
Whoa. Wow.
that was really forceful.
Yeah, that was a lot.
It was like lunging.
Uh-huh.
You definitely do stuff, yeah. Can we go get that ball?
And this is the first time we're ever playing with the robot. So we've spent quite a bit of time on the robot.
Ball run into it? All you gotta do is go straight ahead.
Oh,
You can do it.
So Gino, when the robot makes a sound like that, what is that indicating?
so I have to read a little bit further because I think it's just like, because it actually can be used as an arcade game as well, but it's not in right now.
Right.
We did have it to where I could have swore that it wasn't playing sound. But unfortunately it left the entire guide back in the US. So I just have the mini guide of like
Mhm.
this, do this, do
Yeah,
this.
yep.
So I'm not exactly sure. Okay, maybe it's going to the ball now. And it is. It did it. It did it.
Did you get it?
It did it. But again, did it do it because we asked it to, or was it a fluke? We don't know. It's fun.
Yes, and this is where, like we were saying, if you start getting,
But
wow.
soccer with it.
Turn around.
It-
One more time.
Stop.
One more time.
These are the types of interactions, though, that when you're going through evidence review, your ears are going crazy because you're just hoping to hear something to
Yes.
go along with this.
Kez is actually doing a live EVP in the middle of all.
Okay.
Can you find it?
I wonder if that's why I couldn't find it because of the light, like I was saying before, he didn't know what to do, it was in the dark. Isn't that same ball?
I don't think that's what it's saying. That open.
Have you seen that movie?
I don't know if it is or not. Get it one last time.
Aliens?
Third time's a charm. Well, I think it's legit, maybe. Yeah, third time.
Maybe.
1 minute.
One throughout, and he's in here.
Gotta bring it over there.
Come on.
Well, thank you for playing with us.
No, not interested.
Is it going in the bathroom now?
Can you go hit the ball one more time? for the
Yep.
other?
Oh, shoot.
There, left.
So the thing is that the robot is motion detecting, as we illustrated earlier. Sometimes you have to be like right on top of it to wave your hand in front of it.
Yeah, it didn't hit me so hard that it was on.
Maybe he just gave up.
Maybe.
Don't touching the ball.
Go get it.
Hey, Gina,
Yes.
when you have everybody come down, can you have them leave the robot in that room
Oh,
on the
yeah.
floor?
That's a good idea. All right, guys, time. if you're able to just leave the robot in the room. If you want to move it to the center and then just. leave it.
Yeah. Yep, put it back in the center of the room and let's see if, like, once everybody is out of there and we know that there's no motion from anybody in there.
And I can watch it while they're. coming.
Exactly. Because last time up there, because that's Sabina, that's Sabina's room, right?
Yes.
Last time when everybody came down is where there were those two particular orbs that I had us mark. One was in the bathroom, then the other one came across the top of the screen. So I'm interested now, once they all leave, if we get anything. Here's hoping.
Hold on 1 second. Can you guys move the light sensor in the hallway and put it in the room and close the door?
There you go. Good idea. So is that the same light sensor that should stay on for about a minute and then it'll go off? Okay.
And then go off. So we can watch it and see what happens. And all that, the noise you can hear is them coming down the steps. So
Okay.
let's, oh,
There we go.
yeah. It's moving on its own.
It's moving on its own. We have nobody in there now and it's moving.
See if it comes.
I'm curious when that motion light goes out. Because it would have been nice if that light was out already when
Yeah.
that started moving, but it's cruising around. Yeah, it's just cruising around on its own now, and there's nobody in there.
And it was doing nothing for them, but now it's just going all over the place.
It's so we have no, okay, so at the very least, we know that there's nothing in there making any movement for this thing to be picking up. This is this is crazy. And that and notice the light isn't going off when this went
Right.
past it. So you got to really be on that light, like you said.
Yeah, you gotta be on that light.
Wham!
I mean, this is the most activity it's
Look at
done.
it's that's crazy.
We're getting stuck, you're right.
But it's unstucking. It's
It's getting itself unstuck, yes.
yes. Come on, Rob's got to be loving this.
This is insane.
I wish I understood the mechanics of that whole thing more.
It's all just motion.
I know, but there's
nobody up there, and
There's
this
no
is
motion in there. That's what we're saying.
have to be right on top of it and swivel a certain way. So it has to be a turning motion, not a forward motion. He's been all over the place. Hey, I don't know, for those of you watching that have kind of stuck with us, we haven't really named this robot
There
Are
you
we-
go. Give us a name.
because that's what I called it earlier.
Yeah, that's what I think.
something flew through the screen.
What did?
I don't know, something flew that way across.
Something just went through the screen, but we didn't.
I saw it.
Okay.
We've been getting better than those. Okay, so now it hasn't come back out to us yet. I'm waiting for that thing to come flying back out and scare the shit out of us.
Oh, it's right there in the bottom.
Okay.
It might have fallen over.
Yeah.
It's going crazier in there than when we were in
I
there.
think he's unhappy there with
I
it.
think it might have fallen over.
Yeah. That would make sense.
I mean, that thing, it was zipping all over the place.
Yeah, I think he got himself knocked over.
Well, the thing was, it wasn't
Give me
zipping
a
all over the
look.
place like that before.
I know, you guys left, as soon as you left,
Tell me if you see it again.
it just,
Adrian says the name of the robot is definitely Robit.
Robit, because that's what I said.
Robit.
Robit, yeah.
Robit.
All right, thanks,
Gina
Adrian.
misspoke, so now it's Robit.
Robit. Robit the
That's the
robot.
Robit.
You do me a favor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. Is Rob going back up there to unstuck it?
He's gonna go set it back up real quick and then
Okay.
we'll have the team talk to everybody.
That's wild that it was almost immediately too, once everybody left. And it's not like it would move and stop and pick something up. It was just cruising. around the room?
Okay, we need to mark 2018. Camera
Alright.
1, 2018.
2018, Robit. You said 2018?
Yeah, 2018, just because thought they saw some
Okay.
going across the bottom of the screen.
Okay. And was it cam 1?
Yes.
All right.
And I'll be transferring this over to our Google Drive, Brian, so
Okay.
you can look at the cameras anytime. Okay. There's Rob, not Robit. Now, isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy how the sensory light went off when Rob came in, but when the robot was right on top of it,
It didn't do it. No, it didn't. That's so weird.
Yeah, somebody's yelling.
This robot can record 3 seconds of sound and like say what it recorded.
Okay, what's Rob doing?
Something or what? I have no idea. Maybe he heard
He
something.
had to have heard something.
Trying to call his phone.
Oh, I think he's looking for his phone.
Oh. I feel like we say the words Rob and phone on investigations more than anything else. That's going to be another t-shirt.
All right.
Rob, phone. What are you afraid?
You afraid?
Oh,
What was it called? Ghost
Spirit cop one.
Spirit cock.
See that? Go across the screen. real
Spirit
quick.
cock blocker. There it
You-
goes.
That light that went across the,
It's right in the middle of the floor. It must be a reflection.
That's going to the bathroom.
now it's going to the bathroom again.
And it went in there a little bit earlier. Turns around.
We're not coming back up there.
Super freaky.
Turn around. Turn the robot around.
That's super freaky when you see it turn.
Oh,
Oh, he fell over.
if it's up by itself, I'm gonna freak. Rob, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Looking for my phone. It might be on the edge of the fireplace.
Stand by, we'll take a look.
You gotta go back up.
No,
Yeah, it's down there.
Yes.
Rob, it's down here.
All right, I'm here.
Okay, all right, so I want the team to crowd around here. We've had some very faithful people that have stuck with us through this whole time, I think.
Thanks, everybody. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Here's
it.
Kez. Come here. Come here. Snacks can wait. Kez was gonna get
Yeah.
snack.
Investigation.
All right, so from us to you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. They're still gonna do some more investigation, but guess what? We're
Chicken
not
butt.
done. Yes, we're not done. I mean, we will be showing you guys some clips and little footage. If we get some audio, we'll start releasing some of that so you can get a little bit of stuff here and there. But we are not done with investigation. Somebody move, make the light go back. There we go. So follow along the next couple of days. We're gonna be out and about doing some stuff. We'll post some things so that you guys can see exactly what we're doing. But we will be back to doing some investigating Tuesday of next week. Yes, Tuesday we will be in Loch Ness. And so we will be going to some ancient areas for all through the Scotland Highlands. So we will be in Inverness. We're going to go to a Bronze Era burial ground. We will be attempting to go over to the battlefield of Culloden. No, just leave the robot alone. We'll be going to
Robert.
places, but we will also be showing you that so far we have Rob, Jenny, and Rich commit. Rob, Jenny, and Rich are committed to dipping their toes in the Loch Ness. I don't know who else is gonna do it.
Did
Well-
Rob get the banana hammock?
Yes,
Yeah,
Rob's
what
gonna
if-
baptize himself in Loch
I
Ness.
did, but there's a concern about that, so.
What's the concern?
But we've gone out on a boat ride.
Whoa, I guess you got the thong back banana hammock. That's what the concern is.
What was that?
What'd you say?
I said, I guess Rob got the thong back banana hammock. I guess that's what the concern is.
The thongs, did you get the thongs?
Yes, that could be that too.
Okay, okay, I figured it out.
It's not necessarily the
Wait,
concern.
is it the one with the suspenders?
It is not.
Oh, oh,
Oh,
There's,
Choices.
there's
There was
multiple
lots of
banana
choices.
hammocks apparently. But
make sure
anyway,
it didn't happen.
we will report back to you with some more investigative things this coming week from the Scottish Highlands. So from us to you. Oh, that light, can you just move normal?
It would be great if Robert could stand up right now as we're signing off. That would be amazing.
Before we lose our light again, we love you all. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And we will send you as much information as we can with what we're doing and try to release a few cool clips that we have.
And Mom, every time you text me, it costs me $12.
All right. Thanks, Brian, for hanging out with us tonight
Thanks,
and
everybody.
investigating with us in the way you could.
Absolutely. It was fun. It was great to see you guys. Wish I was there.
We do too.
We do.
Bye, guys.
Kind of.
Love